Chapter 1275. Isn't this too much of a coincidence? Everyone could see that Qingting barely managed to shoot out 9 arrows. At most, she could only cause some injuries. She might not even be able to kill a true God Realm expert. Who would have thought that her 9 arrows could actually kill 9 true God Realm experts? Qingting was also shocked by her own battle results. She couldn't even believe her own eyes. This was actually done by me. You are all trash. How dare you attack the great Yu Yangchen? Even the heavens won't let you off. If you don't want to die, kneel down and surrender. Yu Yangchen instantly stood up proudly. He looked at Lu Wenqing and the others and said proudly. After this incident, Lu Wenqing's side only had 8 true God Realm experts left. They instantly lost more than half of their combat power. Bastard! Kill him for me. Lu Wenqing was about to go crazy. He pointed at Yu Yangchen and roared loudly. Rumble! The remaining 8 true God Realm experts all took action. Divine power rose around their bodies. Powerful auras intertwined as they charged towards Yu Yangchen. Qingting and Wang Liujuan's eyes flashed with killing intent. They charged towards the 8 true God Realm experts at the same time. They also saw the opportunity. As long as they quickly killed the 8 true God Realm experts, Lu Wenqing alone wouldn't be able to stop them from escaping. You are courting death. Lu Wenqing's eyes were extremely sharp. His late true God Realm cultivation was completely unleashed. The long sword in his hand slashed across the sky. Pink divine light rose. It contained an aura that could confuse one's soul. It was as though it could confuse one's mind. Peach Blossom Divine Skill. Lu Wenqing used the Peach Blossom Divine Skill to stop Qingting and Wang Liujun. He wanted to create an opportunity for them to kill Yu Yangchen and Fengya. I said, there must be wind. Yu Yangchen suddenly stood up. He pointed one hand to the sky and the other to the ground. His eyes were mysterious. It was as though there was a strange light that pierced through the void. It made it seem as though there were 2 pupils in his eyes. The sun and the moon were in the sky. Rumble. Heaven and earth began to tremble. Endless gales flickered, wreaking havoc in all directions. It was like the wailing of ghosts and howling of wolves, causing one's heart to tremble. And the Peach Blossom Divine technique that Lu Wenqing executed, that pink enchanting divine light, actually changed direction with a sweep of the gale, directly enveloping those 8 great true God Realm powerhouses. Lu Wenqing's Peach Blossom Divine skill contained an extremely strong power that could confuse people's minds. The 8 great true God Realm experts were instantly dazzled, and they paused in the void for a moment. Good chance. Qingting's eyes lit up. Immediately, 3 consecutive arrows shot out, directly piercing through the glabella of the 3 great true God Realm powerhouses, killing them directly. While the sword Qi in Wang Liujuan's hand soared, the sword light was swift to the extreme, similarly piercing through the throats of the 3 great true God Realm powerhouses. And those 2 true God Realm powerhouses in the end were actually swept up by the endless gale, directly swept up high into the sky, disappearing without a trace. What? Lu Wenqing was dumbfounded. At this moment, no matter how stupid he was, he finally understood that all of this was caused by Yu Yangchen. If the first time, 2 great true God Realm experts were severely injured by the Sun God Fire, and the second time, 9 great true God Realm experts were killed by the 9 arrows, then this time, that bastard summoned the heavenly wind, killed 6 of them, and even blew away 2 of them. What was going on? This guy was too evil. Lu Wenqing's gaze towards Yu Yangchen revealed an extremely terrified expression. Yu Yangchen smiled at him, and instantly, he felt a chill down his spine. Wang Liujun and Qingting's hearts were also incomparably shocked. It was as if it was the first time they had met Yu Yangchen. Previously, they were not together with Yu Yangchen and Fengya. In the end, in just a few months, Yu Yangchen and Fengya forcefully obtained a large number of points, directly rushing to the top 10 of the scoreboard. Previously, they had some doubts, but after seeing the power that Yu Yangchen had caused, they instantly had no more doubts. This Yu Yangchen was simply cheating. He didn't even need to do anything, the people who went against him all died by themselves. Was this guy a jinx, or was he the son of God? However, their minds were incomparably resolute. Now that Lu Wenqing's subordinates were all dead, it was a good opportunity to deal with Lu Wenqing. Kill him. A sharp light flashed in Qingting and Wang Liujuan's eyes as they charged towards Lu Wenqing. Rumble. Sword chi filled the void, containing a vast amount of water attribute energy. It was like an endless sea, wanting to drown Lu Wenqing. Jade Sea Sword Art, 100-layered waves. Wang Liujuan's eyes were incomparably sharp. As soon as the 100-layered waves appeared, the sky instantly changed color. The blazing sword intent was incomparably terrifying, causing Lu Wenqing's face to change drastically. On the other hand, Qingting even aimed at the vital parts of his body with her bow and arrow. Under the joint attack of the two, even Lu Wenqing felt the danger of death. Bitch, His Highness Ji Lingyang will not let you go. Lu Wenqing's eyes were filled with resentment. He glared at Wang Lujun and Qingting and wanted to leave this place. This time, it could be said that he went for wool and came home shorn. Not only did he fail to capture Yu Yangchen and Feng Ye and snatch their points, even the experts that he had painstakingly recruited for so long had all died here. In an instant, he had become a loner. Kill. Wang Lujun only spat out a simple word. Suddenly, the 100-layered waves exploded, and endless sword chi charged towards Lu Wenqing. Qingting also shot out a silver arrow. It was like a dazzling meteor, extremely fast. It contained the power to pierce through everything, and it instantly arrived in front of Lu Wenqing. Lu Wenqing felt the danger of death, as if he was going to die here in the next moment. Buzz! A light flashed around his body, and in an instant, a jade talisman floated up and turned into a powerful defensive barrier, blocking the sword intent of the 100-layered waves and the arrow outside. However, a short moment later, the barrier exploded. The jade talisman was a life-saving item left by the dazzling Gold City's governor. In the end, after blocking the fatal attack, it still shattered. Lu Wenqing, die. Even if Ji Lingyang is here, he won't be able to save you. Qingting sneered. In an instant, another silver arrow was placed on the bowstring and aimed at Lu Wenqing's glabella. Is that so? At this moment, an indifferent and cold voice sounded in the void. Boom! The blazing light was dazzling, and streaks of auspicious chi filled the void. In an instant, a dazzling figure appeared in the sky and turned into a terrifying palm print, slamming down on Qingting. Ji Lingyang. Qingting's expression changed. Without hesitation, she shot an arrow at the terrifying palm print, and at the same time, her body retreated quickly. A divine light flashed in Wang Liujuan's eyes as well, and her sword slashed down on the huge palm print. Chapter 1276. Boom! Heaven and earth trembled. That huge palm print was surrounded by endless clear energy, as if it was the hand of a divine king. It contained unparalleled divine power, and it directly smashed Qingting's arrow into pieces. Although Wang Liujuan's 100-layered waves was extremely powerful, that palm print seemed to encompass heaven and earth. At the same time, it also completely obliterated the power of the sword. Unparalleled divine power attacked. Qingting and Wang Liujuan's expressions changed as they felt their bodies tremble. They couldn't help but retreat abruptly. In front of them, a young man in a purple dragon robe appeared. He looked extraordinary. His eyes were clear and his body exuded an incomparably powerful aura. He was the eldest prince of the great Zhou divine nation, Ji Lingyang. At this moment, his cultivation had already reached the complete true God realm. He was only one step away from breaking through to the heavenly God realm. In just a year's time, he had broken through 4 small realms from the complete divine spirit realm. Although there were countless opportunities in the Great Void's secret realm and Ji Lingyang's accumulation was incomparably strong, it was still incomparably terrifying and unimaginable. Following Ji Lingyang were dozens of figures with powerful auras. They were all experts of the divine spirit realm and true god realm. Their eyes were piercingly cold and their auras were piercingly cold. They faintly surrounded Wang Lujun, Qing Ting, Yi Liangchen, and Feng Ya. Fairies, Lu Wenqing is my subordinate. I'm afraid it's not good for you to target him like this, right? Ji Lingyang looked indifferently at Qing Ting and Wang Lujun and said slowly. A sharp light flashed in Wang Liujuan's eyes as she said coldly, Ji Lingyang, so what if Lu Wenqing is your subordinate? If he wants to deal with us, then he must be prepared to die. Qing Ting also smiled faintly and said, Ji Lingyang, could it be that you're really planning to fight for him? However, both of them had a bad premonition in their hearts. Ji Lingyang's strength was too terrifying. The power of the Zhou Tian's sacred body was indeed extraordinary. If Ji Lingyang really wanted to fight, the two of them might not be able to defeat him even if they joined forces. Ji Lingyang said indifferently, Fairies, I naturally have no intention to offend you. However, please hand over these two people and I can let you go. Ji Lingyang looked very calmly at Yi Liangchen and Feng Ya. Impossible. Wang Lujun said firmly, Ji Lingyang, we can give you face. We won't deal with Lu Wenqing. However, please let the two people go, after all, they didn't offend you. Ji Lingyang smiled faintly. His eyes were filled with indifference, as if he had a high and mighty attitude. Wang Lujun, Qing Ting, I don't think you two. I'm Feng, I don't dare. If you hand over the two of them today, you can leave. Otherwise, the four of you can stay here forever. Ji Lingyang's voice was very calm, but it was filled with an irresistible dominance and majesty. Yang. How dare you attack me, Yi Liangchen? Thanks Feng to the phone. Yan's twos. With your ant-like cultivation, are you worthy of having so many points? Being weak is your original sin. Since you don't know what's good for you, don't blame me for being rude. Boom. As soon as Ji Lingyang finished his sentence, he exuded a majestic aura. Divine light surged behind him. It was as if there was a vast and mysterious illusory world. The whole world was exuding a strange fluctuation. Zhou Tian's divine physique. Wang Lujun and Qing Ting's faces changed slightly. This was the power of the divine physique. Ji Lingyang had fully activated the power of the divine physique. The terrifying aura made them feel extremely dignified. At this moment, a calm and indifferent voice sounded in the void. How do you want to be rude? Swoosh. In the distance, a golden divine light came across the sky. It was extremely fast. It instantly shot into the valley and landed in front of Yi Liangchen and the other three. He was wearing a white robe. His black hair fluttered in the wind. He looked extraordinary. His eyes were like lightning. However, there was a faint smile on his face. Long Outyan. Qing Ting and Wang Lujun couldn't help but exclaim. There was a trace of surprise in their eyes. Ha ha ha. Big brother, you're finally back. This bastard is too arrogant. Go and beat this bastard up. Yi Liangchen's eyes widened as he exchanged glances with Feng Ya. Both of them were extremely excited. It's you. Bastard. Your Highness, it's this guy who ruined my plan. I suspect that the inheritance of the Black Tortoise Saint is in his hands. As the saying goes, when enemies meet, their eyes turn red. Lu Wenqing's eyes turned red when he saw Ling Xiao. He recalled what happened in the inheritance of the Black Tortoise Saint. If it wasn't for this bastard, he would have obtained the inheritance of the Black Tortoise Saint. He had long suspected that Long Outyan had obtained the inheritance of the Black Tortoise Saint. Therefore, he immediately asked Ji Lingyang to get rid of Ling Xiao. The inheritance of the Black Tortoise Saint? Hearing Lu Wenqing's words, Ji Lingyang's eyes couldn't help but flash. You're Long Outyan. A mere complete divine spirit realm cultivator dares to behave atrociously in front of me? Since that's the case, you can stay here. Ji Lingyang said coldly. In an instant, he made up his mind to keep Ling Xiao here. He had heard about the inheritance of the Black Tortoise Saint from Lu Wenqing. Long Outyen might have obtained the inheritance of the Black Tortoise Saint. Moreover, his strength was probably on par with Lu Wenqing. As long as he could take him down, he would naturally know if he had obtained the inheritance of the Black Tortoise Saint. The inheritance of the Black Tortoise Saint moved Ji Lingyang's heart. A complete sacred artifact was considered a national treasure in the great Zhou divine nation. He definitely couldn't miss it. You want to keep me here? Let's see if you have the ability to do so. Coincidentally, I'm also interested in your points. Just give them to me. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. His eyes revealed a trace of strong fighting spirit. The first place on the scoreboard, the great Zhou divine nation's crown prince, Ji Lingyang, who possessed the Zhou Tian saint physique. Ling Xiao's heart was filled with fighting spirit. As long as he could rob Ji Lingyang, Ling Xiao would definitely be the first place on the scoreboard. It would save him the trouble of looking for points. You want my points? Very well, let's see if you can take it. Chapter 1277. Kacha. The void trembled. Ji Lingyang's unparalleled fist imprint contained a trace of purple lightning, which made his fist immensely powerful and had a fluctuation that could destroy everything. This was the Zhou Tian Thunder God Fist, one of the peerless martial arts of the great Zhou divine nation. Everyone thought that the great overlord's Sky Tyrant divine body was very strong, but what they didn't know was that Ji Lingyang's Zhou Tian sacred body was even more terrifying than the Sky Tyrant divine body. Therefore, when Ji Lingyang made his move, everyone could feel the vast and unparalleled vitality force. Good. Ling Xiao's eyes were bright and resplendent. He could feel a trace of pressure from Ji Lingyang's fist imprint. However, it was just a trace of pressure. Ling Xiao had experienced 100 reincarnations in the 3 stages of the heart-tempering stage. His heart had long been perfected. In addition, his battle with the Sky Emperor's avatar had made his martial arts more perfect. He also threw out a punch. The golden fist imprint illuminated the void, containing a terrifying fluctuation of power. Bang! When the 2 fists collided, Ling Xiao and Ji Lingyang both trembled and retreated at the same time. Ji Lingyang's expression changed slightly. He was a realm higher than Ling Xiao and had the Zhou Tian sacred body. However, he could feel that Ling Xiao's physical strength was extremely terrifying and not inferior to his at all. He felt as if he was facing a human-shaped Tyrannosaurus, causing his arms to feel numb. You only have an ordinary physique, not a divine body or a sacred body. You're a god physique. Ji Lingyang's eyes were filled with shock. Only a god physique could have such terrifying power. Ling Xiao's body trembled slightly in the void. At the same time, he turned into a golden stream of light and activated the terrifying divine power around him. He threw another punch at Ji Lingyang. Ling Xiao wanted to see how strong Ji Lingyang's Zhou Tian sacred body was. Although Ji Lingyang was an entire realm higher than Ling Xiao's physical body had reached perfection, and his martial arts had reached perfection. Thus, a casual strike from him was comparable to his previous full-strength attack. Ji Lingyang's expression was solemn. Zhou Tian's Thunder God's fist was unleashed. Purple lightning flashed all over his body. His fist imprint was unparalleled, as if it had turned into a vast world of thunder and lightning, pressing down on Ling Xiao. Bang bang bang. Ling Xiao and Ji Lingyang clashed fiercely. Both of their qi and blood were incomparably vigorous. Every time they collided, the surrounding void would tremble and the surrounding mountains would rumble violently. Ling Xiao's body had become a god, and he also possessed the power of the divine dragon body. Ji Lingyang, on the other hand, possessed the saint body of Zhou Tian. Both of their bodies were extremely terrifying. A competitive spirit was born in their hearts. They wanted to test the limits of their opponent's physical body. Whoosh! The void trembled, and dazzling divine light shone in all directions. Ling Xiao and Ji Lingyang, One was like a golden dragon soaring through the 9 heavens, possessing extreme speed. The other was like a divine king who controlled thunder and lightning, dominating all directions. Every collision was incomparably terrifying. Long Outyen can actually fight Ji Lingyang to a standstill. Does he have the body of a divine beast? Wang Lujun was incomparably shocked. Cheng Ting and Lu Wenqing were indescribably excited. One should know that Ling Zhao's true strength was probably on par with Lu Wenqing in the Xuanwu Saints' land of inheritance. But now, he was actually able to fight Ji Lingyang to a standstill. Cheng Ting was pleasantly surprised, while Lu Wenqing's expression became increasingly unsightly. Bang! Ling Zhao's qi and blood were like dragons. Rays of golden divine light circled around his body, making him look like the king of divine dragons. His aura was extremely terrifying. Wrapped in divine force, he threw a punch at Ji Lingyang, and actually sent Ji Lingyang flying. Ji Lingyang's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. He felt his arms go numb, and the blood in his body was boiling. His physical strength was actually inferior to Ling Zhao's, which was something he couldn't accept. Long Outyen, your physical body is indeed very strong. But it's a pity that your cultivation is still too weak. Take my Zhou Tian's lightning control technique. Ji Lingyang's eyes flashed sharply. Suddenly, his body exuded a holy and mysterious aura. Purple lightning flashed, causing the surrounding void to tremble slightly. He slapped his palm toward Ling Zhao. Purple lightning gathered in the sky, blotting out the sky and covering the earth. It contained an extreme killing intent. It's Zhou Tian's lightning control technique? This is the great Zhou divine nation's saint art. Long Outyen is dead for sure. Lu Wenqing's body trembled, and a trace of resentment appeared in his eyes. Zhou Tian's lightning control technique was the supreme saint art of the great Zhou divine nation. It was extremely powerful. Coupled with Ji Lingyang's Zhou Tian's sacred body, it could erupt with incomparably terrifying power. Zhou Tian's lightning control technique? Come at me. Ling Zhao's eyes shone brightly. In the face of such a vast and unparalleled power, he actually took advantage of the situation and leaped forward, crossing 1,000 feet in a single step. Divine power gathered around him, and the divine light of the 4 divisions flickered on his fist. In an instant, a chaotic fist print blasted forward. Roar! Roar! The roars of dragons, tigers, phoenixes, and turtles resounded through the sky. Following the explosion of the primal chaos fist, the shadows of the 4 sacred beasts actually appeared around Ling Zhao. The ancestral dragon, white tiger, true phoenix, and black tortoise intertwined, making Ling Zhao look like a celestial emperor who controlled the heavens. It was extremely terrifying. The shadows of the 4 sacred beasts actually appeared. What kind of martial art is this? Everyone was shocked, and their eyes were filled with disbelief. They felt that Ling Zhao's fist contained an unparalleled fist intent. It was like the divine sun above the 9 heavens, mighty and unparalleled. It actually made their hearts palpitate. Boom! This time, it was as if heaven and earth were falling apart, and the sun and moon were collapsing. In an instant, an unparalleled divine light storm was set off. Ling Zhao's 4 Guardians' sky-striking style used the 4 Guardians' origin energy to obliterate and contain everything. It was like the chaos, and there was nothing it could tolerate. The purple lightning formed by Zhou Tian's lightning control technique collided with the chaotic fist print. Both sides were annihilated in the void, and a destructive divine power swept out in all directions. Ji Lingyang's body shook, and he suddenly felt a sweet taste in his throat. He couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood, and his whole body flew backward. His body was shrouded in a mysterious holy light and clear air, which dissolved the unparalleled divine power. Although he didn't suffer any serious injuries, his face was extremely ugly. Crack! Ling Zhao's eyes flickered with divine light. He also suffered from the rebounding force, but he managed to withstand it. Instead of retreating, he turned into a beam of golden light, passing through the divine light storm and striking towards Ji Lingyang with his palm. Chapter 1278. The Divine Firmament Sword. It was a famous sacred treasure in the ancient times. Although it was damaged and only had the power of a half-step sacred treasure, it was still not something an ordinary person could withstand. His heart was filled with murderous intent. Long Outyen's talent was too terrifying. His cultivation was at the complete divine spirit realm, which was one realm lower than him, but he still had the upper hand. Such a person must die. Bang! The void shook slightly as Ling Xiao broke through Ji Lingyang's palm blade. Golden light flashed around his body as he dodged the divine firmament sword's sharp edge. He turned around and slapped the divine firmament sword's blade. Buzz! A mysterious sound wave vibrated and a dazzling sword aura erupted. It shrouded Ling Xiao as if it was going to turn him into dust. Clang! The sky-devouring sword flashed and appeared in Ling Xiao's palm. The dazzling sword light flickered and a vast and powerful sword intent spread out. Ling Xiao held the sky-devouring sword and slashed at the divine firmament sword. The destruction sword Dao exploded, causing the sky-devouring sword to contain a mysterious Daoist rhyme. The surrounding void trembled slightly. The destruction sword Dao and the divine firmament sword collided and burst out a dazzling light. Whoosh! With the help of the collision, Ji Lingyang flew back and rushed out of the area covered by the sword intent. His face was extremely ugly. He never thought that Ling Xiao's strength would be so terrifying. If he did not have the divine firmament sword, he might have been defeated by Ling Xiao. Go, kill him. Ji Lingyang's eyes flashed with killing intent as he pointed at Ling Xiao. Kill. Ji Lingyang's subordinates were stunned for a moment. Then, their eyes flashed with killing intent as they displayed powerful martial arts and charged at Ling Xiao. Shameless. Cheng Ting sneered and instantly shot an arrow. She attacked together with Wang Lujun, ready to help Ling Xiao. They did not expect that Ji Lingyang would not hesitate to let his subordinates attack Ling Xiao when he was not a match for him. A bunch of trash. Ji Lingyang, even you are not a match for my brother. What's the use of this bunch of trash? Yi Liangqin sneered. His eyes were filled with disdain. Slash. Ling Xiao stared at the people who were charging towards him. His eyes flashed, and the devouring heaven sword emitted a resplendent light. Sword chi intertwined and exploded in a mighty manner. Whoosh! Ling Xiao held the sky-devouring sword in his hand and leaped into the sky. A dazzling sword chi that resembled the Milky Way slashed down towards the crowd. It was endless and powerful. The faces of those who were charging towards Ling Xiao changed as they felt the threat of death. Their scalps went numb, but at this moment, they had no way to retreat. They all executed their most powerful martial arts and charged towards Ling Xiao with all their might. Rumble. Powerful divine weapons soared into the sky, accompanied by powerful martial arts. The void was filled with dazzling light. However, when the heaven-devouring sword descended from the sky, regardless of whether it was the divine weapons or the martial arts, they all exploded and turned into a divine light storm. As for those experts, it was as if they had been struck by lightning. They suddenly spat out mouthfuls of blood, and their auras instantly became incomparably weak. Ji Lingyang, hand over your points and I can spare your life. Ling Xiao pointed his sword at Ji Lingyang and said indifferently. You want my points? You don't have that ability. Long Outyen, this isn't over. Let's go. Ji Lingyang looked deeply at Ling Xiao with an ugly expression. However, he knew that he wouldn't be able to gain anything by staying, so he immediately turned to leave. Did I say you could leave? Ling Xiao's eyes flickered with divine light as he slammed his palm towards Ji Lingyang. Rumble. The invisible divine light was dazzling. Ling Xiao's palm contained the power of 5 elements birth and death. It instantly transformed into a vast 5 elements realm and enveloped Ji Lingyang. 5 elements heaven sealing style. During the battle with the Heavenly Emperor, Ling Xiao had also comprehended this style to the Great Perfection realm, and it possessed an incomparably mysterious power. Break for me. Ji Lingyang's expression changed drastically. The divine firmament sword in his hand emitted a dazzling light. Streaks of purple lightning gathered, and the sword chi rose. Then, it suddenly slashed towards the five elements realm in front of him. Rumble. Ling Xiao's body flickered with divine light, like a golden divine dragon soaring through the sky. The sky-devouring sword in his hand directly met the divine firmament sword. Although the sky-devouring sword was only a supreme-grade divine artifact, it had the innate Spirit King as its artifact spirit. Moreover, Ling Xiao had even activated the Holy Path sword intent. For a moment, it actually resisted the divine firmament sword. Ling Xiao punched towards Ji Lingyang with unparalleled ferocity. Long Outyen, do you really want to fight to the death with me? Ji Lingyang was enraged, and his eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Fight to the death? Then you'll be the one to die. Ling Xiao sneered, but his punch didn't have the slightest hesitation. It was as if he was determined to kill Ji Lingyang. Long Outyen, I'll remember you. One day, I'll make you pay with your blood. Ji Lingyang glared at Ling Xiao, then decisively crushed a jade talisman. Suddenly, a powerful force enveloped him and the divine firmament sword. In an instant, they broke through the void and disappeared in front of Ling Xiao. It's actually a holy path talisman. As expected of the prince of the great Zhou divine nation, he's really rich. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of pity. However, he also knew that if Ji Lingyang wanted to escape, he couldn't stop him. After all, in the trial grounds, there were countless pairs of eyes watching. Ling Xiao couldn't use many of his methods. When Ji Lingyang escaped, Lu Wenqing and the others were dumbfounded. They never thought that Ji Lingyang would suffer such a crushing defeat. Moreover, after being defeated, he directly fled, leaving them all here. Cheng Ting, Wang Lujun, Yi Liangchen, and Feng Ye were all excited. Their eyes were filled with excitement. Ji Lingyang was publicly recognized as the strongest person. If Ling Xiao defeated Ji Lingyang, didn't that mean that Ling Xiao was the strongest person in this great void trial? More importantly, Ling Xiao's cultivation was only at the perfected divine spirit realm. Once he grew to Ji Lingyang's level, perhaps even a heavenly god wouldn't be his match. It was just a pity that they didn't snatch Ji Lingyang's points. Do you want to live or die? Ling Xiao glanced at Lu Wenqing and the others indifferently. Everyone's face instantly turned ugly. They understood Ling Xiao's meaning. If they wanted to live, they had to hand over the points in the Great Void token. If they didn't, then Ling Xiao would kill them. Although they could return to the Great Void ancient city in 3 breaths' time by crushing the Great Void token, these 3 breaths' time were probably enough for Ling Xiao to kill them. After all, they didn't have a cultivation as strong as Ji Lingyang. Facing Ling Xiao's sharp gaze, Lu Wenqing couldn't help but lower his head. However, his eyes were filled with resentment, and his teeth were about to shatter. Chapter 1279. Long Outyen, you win. I can give you the points in the Great Void token as long as you let me go. Lu Wenqing suppressed the anger and killing intent in his heart. He had no choice but to bow down to Ling Xiao. Others can leave after handing over their points. But you can't. You have 2 options. Either you crush the Great Void token or you die. Ling Xiao said calmly. Long Outyen, don't push me too far. Lu Wenqing raised his head abruptly. His eyes were filled with rage. If he handed over his points, he could still snatch points from others. Although there were only 3 days left, he might be able to enter the top 1,000 again. However, if he crushed the Great Void token, he would really be eliminated. Push me too far. Just now, when you brought so many people and wanted to steal our points, why didn't you say that you were going too far? Wang Lujun said coldly as she looked at Lu Wenqing. Hee, you should be satisfied that my big brother spared your life. Otherwise, you can leave your life behind. Yi Liangchen chuckled as he looked down at Lu Wenqing and said. All right. Long Outyen, just you wait. You will die in my hands. When that time comes, I will make you beg for death. Lu Wenqing was filled with anger as he glared at Ling Xiao. Then, he crushed the Great Void Token. Boom! After the Cosmos Medallion was shattered, a bright white light instantly surrounded him. The points in the Cosmos Medallion turned into a bright white light. That was all of Lu Wenqing's points. At this moment, they were floating in front of Ling Xiao. Naturally, Ling Xiao did not hold back. He immediately took out the Great Void Token and absorbed all the points. Lu Wenqing also instantly disappeared in front of Ling Xiao. Lu Wenqing had been sent back to the Great Void Ancient City. This meant that he was eliminated. The remaining people were all silent. None of them dared to say anything. They handed over all the points in the Great Void Token to Ling Xiao and ran away as if they had been pardoned from a great crime. Boom! The Great Void Token in Ling Xiao's hand shone brightly and the points in it became 1,425,000. Ling Xiao's ranking shot up like a rocket. He surpassed Qing Ting and became the 4th place on the scoreboard. He was only behind Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, and Evil Sword. Sure enough, robbing rich people benefits the most. It's a pity that Ji Lingyang escaped. Ling Xiao looked at the points on his Great Void Token and was extremely satisfied. With his current points, he could easily enter Aries College. However, Ling Xiao still had his sights set on the champion position. Hence, 4th place was not enough. He had to fight his way into 1st place in order to obtain the 10 drops of holy liquid. The saint liquid could be said to be priceless and extremely precious. It was a cultivation resource that was far more valuable than god stones and god crystals. It contained an incomparably vast amount of energy. 10 drops of the saint liquid was enough to push Ling Xiao's cultivation to the true god realm. Therefore, Ling Xiao was determined to obtain the position of the champion. Big brother, are you? Ha ha ha. Why don't we go and kill Ji Lingyang, Sword Xia and Xiong Ba, and snatch all their points? Yi Liangchen laughed and his eyes were filled with eagerness. Ling Xiao was ranked last on the scoreboard. He had surpassed hundreds of thousands of challengers and reached the 4th place. This speed was indeed terrifying. That's a good suggestion. Long Outyen, you want to be the champion, right? Let's go kill those 3 guys and snatch their points. You will definitely be the champion. Qing Ting said as if she wanted to see the world in chaos. Look, their points are rising rapidly. I'm afraid they're also starting to speed up their points collection. Wang Lujun suddenly looked at the scoreboard and said slowly. On the scoreboard, Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba and Evil Sword's points were increasing rapidly. Obviously, they were combining the points of the challengers and wanted to be the champion. The position of champion not only represented glory, but also many rewards. Xiong Ba and Evil Sword would definitely not be willing to be suppressed by Ji Lingyang. We don't need to collect points. Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, Evil Sword, Lu Yan and the rest can just snatch a few points and it will be enough for me to be the champion. Why don't we snatch from those big dogs on the scoreboard? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he said with a faint smile. Big brother is right. I have long disliked those bastards. Let's just snatch their points. Yi Liangchen laughed. However, if others were to find out that the 5 people in this valley were the 5 people in the top 10 on the scoreboard, it was likely that everyone would rush over to snatch their points at all costs. After all, on the surface, their strength was too confusing. Ling Xiao, Yi Liangchen and Feng Ye were all in the divine spirit realm, but they had so many points. Who else could they snatch from other than them? As Ji Lingyang's subordinates fled, the result of the battle between Ling Xiao and Ji Lingyang quickly spread throughout the training grounds. A divine spirit realm kid called Long Outyen actually defeated Ji Lingyang, who had the holy ground of Zhou. This news immediately caused an uproar. Who is Long Outyen? I've never heard of him. A mere divine spirit realm can actually defeat His Highness Ji Lingyang? This kind of rumor is too unreliable. That's right. I heard that His Highness Ji Lingyang's cultivation has already reached the complete true God realm. In addition to his holy ground of Zhou Tian, even Xiong Ba wasn't his opponent. What ability does that Long Outyan guy have? But look, that guy called Long Outyan actually rushed to the 4th place on the scoreboard, and the Peach Blossom Prince, Lu Wenqing, who was originally at the 7th place on the scoreboard, actually disappeared. Is he eliminated? Long Outyan can actually defeat Lu Wenqing. His combat strength can't be underestimated. Everyone was discussing, but almost no one believed that Ling Xiao could defeat Ji Lingyang. They all scoffed at the news. When Jian Xia and Xiong Ba heard the news, they couldn't sit still. Long Outyan defeated Ji Lingyang. Nothing comes from learning, I'm afraid it's really possible. He might have obtained the inheritance of the Black Tortoise Saint. Jian Xia's eyes were filled with seriousness, and an extremely strong fear of Long Outyan rose in his heart. Long Outyan's strength actually became so strong. In the next 3 days, we definitely can't meet him face to face. Otherwise, if we fail miserably, that would be a big joke. Xiong Ba's heart was also incomparably shocked. At the same time, he decided that as long as he saw Ling Xiao, he would run far away and definitely not meet him face to face. If something happened in the last 3 days, then it would really be a failure. At this moment, in a flaming mountain in the south, a young man in a black robe and a young man in a green robe scoffed at the news and even began to secretly plot. P.S. 4th update, everyone rest early. Chapter 1280. The black-robed young man looked extraordinarily handsome. His black robe was embroidered with a few flames with golden threads. His entire body exuded a blazing aura, and his eyes seemed to be burning with flames. He was the Raging Flame's young master, Lu Yen. Opposite him was a young man in a green robe. He had thick eyebrows and big eyes, and his entire body exuded an extremely domineering aura. He carried a crimson gold saber on his back. It was strangely shaped and extremely sharp. It was Qin Kuan, who was ranked 5th on the scoreboard. The two of them stood on the flaming mountain, and their auras were extremely powerful. A group of true God Realm experts were standing guard around them. Brother Chen, I'm only asking for the top position this time. As long as you can help me get the top position, I can give you the 10 drops of sacred liquid. Lu Yen looked at Qin Kuan and smiled. Get the top position. Brother Lu, are you interested in the flipping sky seal of the War God Temple? However, it won't be easy to get the recognition of that item. Qin Kuan's eyes flashed as he spoke slowly. The flipping sky seal of the War God Temple is the most valuable treasure of the War God Temple. As long as you can get the recognition of the flipping sky seal, you will have hope of becoming the leader of the War God Temple. Although the War God Temple has weakened and there hasn't been a leader for 1,000,000 years, if I can get the flipping sky seal, I will be the new leader of the War God Temple. Lu Yan's eyes were blazing, and he did not hide his ambition at all. The flipping sky seal is a legendary supreme treasure. Even if it was damaged 1,000,000 years ago, it is still the most valuable treasure of the War God Temple. Brother Lu's ambition is not small. Furthermore, Brother Lu's grandfather is now the deputy dean of Aries College. As long as Brother Lu can get the top position, there is indeed hope for you to comprehend the flipping sky seal. Qin Kuan said slowly. The flipping sky seal was the most valuable treasure of the War God Temple. There was a projection of the flipping sky seal in Aries College. It was said that every time the top position of the Great Void Trial joined Aries College, they would receive the support of the flipping sky seal. With this support, there was hope of getting the recognition of the flipping sky seal. One had to know that to receive the support of the flipping sky seal, even if one became a true disciple of the War God Temple, one had to make a great contribution. If Lu Yen could receive the support of the War God Temple, he would undoubtedly be much more than others. Brother Chen, are you willing to lend me a hand? I've already inquired about Long Outyan, Yi Liangchen, and Feng Ya, and they aren't a threat. Only Long Outyan is slightly stronger, but the 3 of them are all in the divine spirit realm. As long as I can snatch their points, I'll definitely be able to surpass Ji Lingyang and become the champion. Lu Yen looked at Qin Kuan confidently and said. Since Brother Lu trusts me so much, I'm naturally willing to help Brother Lu. However, I heard that Fairy Gusha and Fairy Lingbo are with Long Out Yen and the other two. If we can't deal with them, I'm afraid it'll be troublesome. Chen Kun thought for a moment and finally nodded. Although he had some ideas about the projection of the sky-flipping seal, he knew that only Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, Jian Xia, and Lu Yan were qualified to compete for the top spot. Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, and Jian Xia were all princes of the three holy kingdoms. This time, they had suppressed their cultivation levels to participate in the Great Void trial so that they could enter Aries College and obtain the support of the Flip Sky Seal. Lu Yan's grandfather was the vice principal of Aries College and was also qualified to compete for the top spot. As for the others, they didn't have the qualifications or the strength. Are you talking about Qing Ting and Wang Lujun, those two bitches? They're willing to degrade themselves and hang out with ants like Long Out Yen. If they dare to go against me, then don't blame me. With this heavenly fire Qiankun array disc, won't they be at our mercy? Lu Yan laughed coldly. With a flash of light, a strange array disc appeared in his hand. It flowed with a gorgeous light, as if flames were gushing out from it. One could also feel a strong array fluctuation. Heavenly fire Qiankun array disc. I didn't expect Brother Lu to bring this treasure. Then we'll definitely succeed this time. Chen Kun looked at the array disc in Lu Yan's hand and couldn't help but tremble. His eyes revealed a trace of amazement. The heavenly fire Qiankun array disc was the family treasure of the Lu family. Legend had it that it contained a world of heavenly fire that could absorb people and refine them. The stronger the heavenly fire, the stronger the heavenly fire array disc. Over the years, the Lu family had collected 9 heavenly fires. With the heavenly fire Qiankun array disc in Lu Yan's hand, he was invincible among those of the same level. Good. Ha ha ha. Brother Chen, you won't regret your choice today. Lu Yan laughed loudly and revealed a trace of sharpness in his eyes. Whoosh. Right at this time, a true god powerhouse traversed the sky and came over. Giving a respectful bow toward LV Yen, he said, Young master, we've already found the traces of Long Out Yen, those 5 people. They seem to have found the heaven-tunneling rat, Yin Tian Song, and plan on snatching his points. Ranking 18th, Sky-drilling rat, Yin Tian Song. Very good. I've also been looking for this bastard for a long time. Since that's the case, this time we'll catch them all in one fell swoop. A sharp light flashed in Lu Yan's eyes as he said coldly. Rat King Yin Tian Song was an itinerant cultivator who was proficient in the 5 elements heaven escape technique. Moreover, he was extremely timid and bullied the weak and feared the strong. He liked to beat people up. In the Great Void mystic realm, he was like a fish in water. He actually made it to 18th place in the rankings and forcefully accumulated 1.3 million points. At this point in the Great Void trial, wanting to obtain points by killing rune humans and rune beasts was already next to nothing. If one could snatch the points of the experts at the top of the rankings, they would immediately become rich. Therefore, those experts on the rankings had already become the targets of everyone's hunting. In a vast plain, the grass was green and the sky was high and the clouds were broad. Ling Xiao, Qing Ting, and Wang Lujun surrounded a shifty-eyed middle-aged man. 3 bosses, I really didn't mean to spy on you guys. Let's go our separate ways. Let me go. The shifty-eyed middle-aged man had the cultivation of the middle true god realm. He was the sky-drilling rat, Yin Tian Song. Previously, he had also heard the news of Ling Xiao defeating Ji Lingyang. In his heart, he did not believe it, especially when he saw that Yu Yangchen and Fengya, who were merely in the divine spirit realm, were actually able to occupy the top 10 positions in the rankings. What he did not expect was that when he used the earth escape technique to get close to Ling Xiao and the other 4, he was tragically discovered and forced out by Ling Xiao. Chapter 1281. You're the sky-burrowing rat, Yin Tian Song. The earth escape technique is indeed amazing. You almost fooled me. However, since you dare to target us, you have to think about the consequences. Hand over all your points, and we can let you leave. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he spoke indifferently. He knew about the background of this shifty-eyed fellow from Qingting. He didn't expect him to be so famous, especially his 5 elements heaven escape technique, which made Ling Zhao sigh in admiration. If he hadn't activated his mind realm and could observe everything with his mind's eye, which made his senses sharper than before, he wouldn't have been able to discover the sky-burrowing rat's tracks. Yin Tiansong's face was filled with bitterness, but his small eyes flickered with light as if he was looking for an opportunity to escape. Stinky rat, don't think about escaping. If you dare to leave, I won't be responsible if my clear sky bow turns you into a porcupine. Qingting gritted her teeth and looked at Yin Tiansong with hatred. She knocked 3 silver arrows on the clear sky bow in her hand and aimed at Yin Tiansong. Speaking of which, Qingting had also suffered at the hands of this fellow. He had stolen her treasures a few times, but unfortunately, Yin Tiansong was slippery. Even Qingting couldn't catch him. Although Wang Liujuan's expression was cold, there was a burst of sword essence around her. It was as if Yin Tiansong made the slightest move, she would explode with a thunderous attack. Yin Tiansong groaned inwardly. His 5 elements heaven escape technique was indeed a supreme technique for escaping. However, it was a pity that Ling Zhao, Qingting, and Wang Lujun were fighting in a location that almost sealed off all his escape routes. Even if he wanted to use the earth escape technique, he would probably be shot a few times by Qingting. The clear sky bow in Qingting's hand was a powerful godly monarch weapon. Coupled with the power of the cloud-piercing arrow, he didn't dare to take the risk. My 3 bosses, how about this? I don't have many points on me, but I know the whereabouts of the Raging Flame's young master, Lu Yan, and Qin Kuan. The 2 of them have a lot of points. If we rob them, one of you can immediately become the champion. Yin Tiansong's eyes rolled as he chuckled at Ling Zhao and the other 2. Raging Flame young master Lu Yan and Killing Blade Qin Kuan. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. Both of them were experts ranked in the top 10 of the scoreboard, especially Lu Yan. Ling Zhao had some grudges with Lu Yan. If he could rob both of them, he would be able to get a lot of points. Seeing that Ling Zhao was a little tempted, Yin Tiansong hurriedly said, also, I heard that Lu Yan and Qin Kuan also want to snatch your points. Why don't we strike first and gain the upper hand and get rid of them directly? That way, we will have one less strong opponent. Whoosh! Whoosh! However, at this moment, dozens of powerful figures instantly flew over from afar. Yin Tiansong, you've got guts, huh? Since you want to kill us, let's see if you have the ability to do so. An indifferent and cold voice exploded in the void, causing Yin Tiansong's expression to change drastically. Raging Flame's young master Lu Yan. Qin Kuan. Yin Tiansong's eyes flashed and he immediately saw the 2 people in the lead. It was Lu Yan and Qin Kuan. Lu Yan's eyes were indifferent as he stood in the void. He looked down at Ling Zhao, Yin Tiansong, and the others condescendingly, exuding an arrogant aura. He was so angry that he laughed. He and Qin Kuan had just discussed how to deal with Long Out Yen and the others, but Yin Tiansong had actually urged Long Out Yen and the others to deal with them. Moreover, when Lu Yan saw that Ling Zhao, Yi Liangchen, and Feng Ye's cultivation were only at the divine spirit realm, he was slightly relieved. It was simply a fool's dream for a divine spirit realm to defeat Ji Lingyang, who had the Zhou Tian sacred body. Yin Tiansong's expression instantly became extremely ugly. He felt that his luck today was simply too bad. He did not expect to enter the tiger's den as soon as he stepped out of the wolf's den. However, Lu Yan and Qin Kuan's cultivation were extremely strong and had already reached the late stage of the true god realm. It's you guys. Wang Lujun and Qingting's eyes flashed, and they became slightly solemn. Lu Yan and Qin Kuan's strength was also extremely strong. Compared to Ji Lingyang, they were probably not much weaker. However, the 2 of them had joined forces and brought so many true god realm subordinates. It seemed like Yin Tiansong was right. They wanted to capture them all in one fell swoop. Ling Zhao's eyes also revealed a trace of a strange look. One should know that ever since he defeated Ji Lingyang, the news had spread throughout the Great Void's secret realm. All the trial takers had fled at the mere sight of it. Lu Yen and Chen Kun actually dared to find trouble with him. Were they bold because they were skilled? Or did they not believe the rumor? Interesting. The corner of Ling Zhao's mouth curved into a smile. Previously, he was still worrying about how to collect points as soon as possible. He did not expect that someone would send a pillow to him just as he was about to sleep. As long as he snatched Lu Yen and Chen Kun, he would be the well-deserved champion. Long out Yen, we meet again. Previously, you snatched my rune infusion and hid for so long. I'd like to see where you can escape to today. Lu Yen looked coldly at Ling Xiao as a trace of killing intent flashed in his eyes. Hide? Why should I hide? Since you've personally come to give me points, I naturally have to accept it. How about this, seeing that you've worked so hard to give me points, as long as you hand over the points, I'll spare your lives. How about it? Ling Xiao smiled faintly as his eyes flashed. Spare our lives? Ha ha ha. You're about to die, yet you still dare to speak such arrogant words. Very well, I'll let you die here today. Lu Yen laughed in extreme anger. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent, and his body instantly exuded a violent aura. Boom! The void in all directions shook, heaven and earth roared, and blazing divine light shrouded the surroundings. In Lu Yan's hand, a dazzling disc array flew across the sky. It was like a great sun that illuminated this part of the world, sprinkling down rays of blazing light. Heavenly Fire Universe Disc Array. You actually brought this treasure out? Cheng Ting's expression changed, and her eyes revealed an incomparably dignified look. Boom! As soon as her voice fell, before she had time to react, a vast and blazing world suddenly descended, enveloping the surrounding heaven and earth. The surrounding light changed, flames covered the sky, and the air was incomparably hot. Moreover, there were 9 blazing flames above the 9 heavens, incomparably mysterious. This was the formation space formed by the Heavenly Fire Universe Disc Array, and it instantly enveloped everyone. That's right. It's the Heavenly Fire Universe Disc Array. Now, you've all entered my Heavenly Fire Universe Disc Array. Even if you crush the Great Void token, you can forget about leaving here. If you want to live, hand over all your points obediently. Chapter 1282. Heavenly Fire Universe Disc Array. A sharp light flashed in Ling Zhao's eyes. He could feel that this formation space was extremely powerful and contained boundless power. Especially the 9 mysterious flames in the sky, Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat. Those were 9 heavenly flames, including the Sun God Fire, Origin Spirit God Fire, and other flames that were not weaker than Ling Zhao's sky-devouring divine fire. The 9 heavenly flames supported the operation of the Heavenly Fire Universe Disc Array and provided LV Yen with a terrifying amount of energy. Even a divine realm expert would not be able to last long under the burning of the 9 heavenly flames. It's over. It's over. Yin Tiansong's face instantly turned pale as he muttered to himself. No matter how powerful his 5 elements heaven escape skill was, it was impossible for him to escape from the Heavenly Fire Universe Disc Array. The Heavenly Fire Universe Disc Array was a famous treasure in the Grand Celestial Domain. Even a divine realm expert would not be able to escape from it if they were trapped in it. Brother Chen, I'll hold back Cheng Ting, Wang Lujun, and Yin Tiansong. You take down Long Outyen, Yi Liangchen, and Feng Ya. Take their points first. LV Yan's eyes glinted as he spoke to Chen Kun. Boom! The flames around Lu Yen rose and he instantly soared into the sky. The 9 heavenly flames in the void exuded an incomparably mysterious power. In an instant, they descended from the 9 heavens like 9 flaming divine dragons and pounced toward Cheng Ting, Wang Lujun, and Yin Tiansong. The 9 flaming divine dragons descended like a curtain of fire, instantly separating Ling Xiao and the others as though they were in 2 separate spaces. Ling Xiao, Yi Liangchen, and Feng Ya were instantly exposed to Chen Kun. All right. Chen Kuan's eyes glinted as he nodded in agreement. In his opinion, Ling Xiao, Yi Liangchen, and Feng Ye were only at the divine spirit realm. With his advanced true god realm cultivation, he could take them down in the shortest time possible. He understood what Lv Yen meant. Since he had the heavenly fire Qiankuan array disc in hand, he might as well capture Qing Ting, Wang Lujun, and Yin Tian Song. When the 5 of them gathered their points, it would be enough to directly push Lv Yen to the top. Are you going to hand over your points, or are you going to wait for me to make a move? Chen Kuan's eyes flashed as he looked at Ling Xiao, Yap Liangchen, and Feng Ye. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and said, I should be the one asking you this. Could it be that you think you're stronger than Ji Lingyang? Arrogant. Chen Kuan said coldly. Killing intent rose around his body. Then, he unsheathed the crimson gold battle saber on his back. Suddenly, a cold saber light came toward Chen Kuan, as if it was going to cut him into pieces. Boom! Chen Kuan naturally didn't believe that Ling Xiao had the strength to defeat Ji Lingyang. However, he didn't underestimate Ling Xiao either. Therefore, he used his frenzied blade's 7 slashes right from the start. The saber was like a bolt of lightning. Its speed was extremely fast. Moreover, it contained a force similar to that of a bolt of lightning. Good saber technique. Ling Xiao could not help but exclaim in admiration. He could feel that Chen Kuan's saber essence was extremely pure. The frenzied blade's 7 slashes even contained a trace of holy path aura. This was a half-step sage martial art. It was extremely powerful. Ling Xiao felt the saber light rushing toward him. His gaze was incomparably calm as he threw out a simple punch. Crack! Golden lightning instantly lit up the void. Although Ling Xiao's golden fist didn't contain any martial art aura and was just a casual strike, it didn't contain a trace of worldly aura. It was simple and mysterious. It contained an extremely terrifying energy fluctuation. In the face of the power of Ling Xiao's punch, even Chen Kuan's expression changed. Bang! Ling Xiao's fist essence was incomparably vast. The fist radiance collided with the saber light. Suddenly, a bright light burst out. In the end, it violently blasted on the blade of Chen Kuan's saber. Divine power surged toward Chen Kuan like a wave. Chen Kuan's arm trembled as he was suddenly sent flying backward. Long Outyen, huh? You do have some skills. However, it will be difficult for you to defeat me with only this kind of physical strength. Chen Kuan's gaze became more serious. The saber essence around him gathered, and the murderous aura became more and more vast. The pure gold saber radiated a dazzling light and instantly soared into the sky. As Chen Kuan's saber essence rose, the saber finally slashed toward Ling Xiao. Big brother, beat this arrogant brat to death. Even Ji Lingyang can't defeat you. Who does he think he is? Yap Liangchen said eagerly from the side. This kind of power again? Is it misfortune or some kind of law? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. As Yap Liangchen spoke, he felt as though there was some kind of mysterious power that permeated the void. Chen Kuan's saber essence was originally unparalleled. However, in Ling Xiao's eyes, there seemed to be some kind of flaw that he could see through with a glance. During the battle between Ling Xiao and Ji Lingyang, Ling Xiao knew that Ji Lingyang possessed the sacred cycle physique, and his cultivation was one realm higher than Ling Xiao's. Ling Xiao had mentally prepared himself for a fierce battle, which was expected to be a tough one. However, for some reason, with Yap Liangchen by his side, Ling Xiao always felt that Ji Lingyang's attacks had many flaws. Perhaps even Ji Lingyang did not know about it, which was why he was defeated by Ling Xiao. Now that he was fighting with frenzied blade Chen Kuan, Ling Xiao could feel the fluctuation of the aura. Ling Xiao guessed that Yap Liangchen's saintly physique of misfortune was showing its power again. The power of the saintly physique of misfortune made Ling Xiao incomparably amazed. Boom! Ling Xiao's divine power rose. In an instant, he caught the flaw in Chen Kuan's saber essence and threw out a punch. The 4 symbols' divine light was dazzling as it turned into a chaotic fist print. In an instant, it collided with the node of Qin Kuan's saber essence. Suddenly, the sky was filled with rays of light, and the saber radiance was shattered. Ling Xiao took advantage of the situation and threw a punch at Qin Kuan's chest. At the same time, his leg was like a whip, exploding with a thunderous roar. Bang! Qin Kuan's expression changed. However, he was also an extremely prideful person. When he saw that he was at a disadvantage, he did not think of blocking Ling Xiao's attack. Instead, he simply opened up his defense and slashed horizontally at Ling Xiao's neck with his pure golden saber. Even if Ling Xiao's punch could seriously injure Qin Kuan's saber could also cut off Ling Xiao's neck. This was a way of fighting that would cause both sides to suffer. However, Ling Xiao's expression was very calm. It was as if he had already expected Qin Kuan to respond in such a manner. That punch was a feint, and the resplendent fist imprint suddenly smashed onto Qin Kuan's wrist from an unbelievable angle. Buzz! Unparalleled divine power exploded. Qin Kuan's arm suddenly became numb, and the saber suddenly deviated from its original trajectory. On the other hand, Ling Xiao's whip leg was like a dragon, and it was as fast as lightning. It ruthlessly landed on Qin Kuan's chest. Bang! Chapter 1283. How terrifying was Ling Xiao's physical body? Even Ji Lingyang's Zhou Tian's sacred body was slightly inferior. Naturally, Qin Kuan's physical body couldn't withstand the divine power and suffered heavy injuries. What? At this moment, Lv Yen also noticed the battle between Ling Xiao and Qin Kuan. His eyes revealed a trace of disbelief. He didn't expect Qin Kuan to be defeated by Ling Xiao so quickly. Damn it, could it be that he really defeated Ji Lingyang? Lv Yan's expression was gloomy as he thought of the rumor. At this moment, he felt that it was more and more real. Long Outyan's combat strength couldn't be measured by his cultivation. His terrifying combat strength was like a violent dragon that swept through everything. Even Lv Yan was a little shocked. Even if you defeated Ji Lingyang, you still have to die. Lv Yan suddenly felt a very strong threat in his heart. Murderous intent flashed in his eyes. With a thought, a great sun divine dragon rushed towards Ling Xiao. This was the power of the great sun divine fire. Under Lv Yan's control, it was vivid as if it was a real divine dragon that had the combat strength of a complete true god. Roar! The dragon's roar shook the surroundings, causing heaven and earth to tremble violently. The great sun divine dragon's aura was incomparably terrifying. It spat out a bright sun that suddenly smashed towards Ling Xiao. Is this the aura of the great sun divine fire? Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. Not only did he not have the slightest intention to retreat, but he also took advantage of the situation and directly punched out. Kacha! The fist imprint was unparalleled, and the resplendent sun directly exploded with a loud bang. However, the divine fire of the sun contained an incomparably terrifying aura as it suddenly enveloped Ling Xiao. The great sun divine fire could burn everything. Legend had it that at its peak, it could even directly burn a divine king expert to death. Under Lv Yan's control, the great sun divine dragon had the power to at least incinerate a true god expert. He wanted to completely burn Ling Xiao to death. Good timing. The corner of Ling Xiao's mouth revealed a trace of mockery, but his eyes were incomparably bright. Boom! Divine power rose around him as if a golden vortex was spreading out. At the same time, the sky-devouring divine fire burned fiercely in his body. Ling Xiao was like a great solar furnace. The golden vortex exuded a majestic devouring power and began to devour the divine fire of the sun that was coming towards him. If Ling Xiao's heaven-devouring divine fire wanted to level up, it would need to continuously devour powerful heaven and earth spiritual fire in order to become stronger. If Lv Yan used other offensive means, it would be fine. However, he just had to use the power of the 9 great heavenly fires. Ling Xiao was the least afraid. Ling Xiao's body glowed brilliantly as he absorbed the power of the divine fire of the sun into his body bit by bit. He began to refine it and then merged it with the sky-devouring divine fire. Boom! Ling Xiao was bathed in flames as he walked. His entire being was like a flaming war god. He suddenly grabbed the sun god dragon. His entire body burst with divine power as he tore the sun god dragon in half. At the same time, Ling Xiao soared into the sky and charged towards Lu Yan. "You're courting death." Lu Yan's eyes were filled with murderous intent. Suddenly, another divine fire of the origin spirit pounced towards Ling Xiao. The aura of the two heavenly fires intertwined and became increasingly hot. Even the void began to fluctuate slightly. The power of the 9 great heavenly fires was the origin of the heavenly fire universe disk array. Moreover, the power of each other could be superimposed. If the damage of the divine fire of the sun was 1, then the 9 great heavenly fires would be able to unleash 9 times the power. If it was activated by a divine king, it would probably be able to directly burn a divine king into ashes. Boom! Ling Xiao smashed the divine fire of the origin spirit with another punch. Then, he began to activate the violent devouring power around him without concealing it and used the sky-devouring divine fire in his body to refine it. The flames around Ling Xiao rose as if they were smelting everything. It made his aura stronger and stronger. He actually had a tendency to break through. At this moment, LV Yen also discovered that Ling Xiao wanted to devour the power of the heavenly fire. A mere divine spirit realm cultivator wants to forcefully devour the power of the heavenly fire? You're simply courting death. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Murderous intent flashed in LV Yen's eyes. He simply activated the 9 great heavenly fires and crazily surged towards Ling Xiao. Rumble. Ling Xiao was like a black hole that did not reject anything. No matter how strong the power of the fire was, it was all absorbed into his body and began to devour it. Bright light radiated and the sea of fire rose. It was extremely hot as if it was going to melt the heavens and completely drown Ling Xiao. The 9 great heavenly fire dragons boiled in the sea of fire, causing the surrounding heaven and earth to tremble violently. The power of the 9 great heavenly fires was too terrifying. It caused Qin Kuan and the others to tremble. Their eyes were filled with incomparable fear as they retreated. Even from so far away, they could feel the blazing aura. Even Qin Kuan himself felt that there was no way he could withstand the sea of fire for a moment. You're actually trying to devour the 9 great heavenly fires. Long Out Yen is dead meat. Qin Kuan's eyes flashed as he said coldly. LV Yen activated the power of the 9 great heavenly fires with all his might and poured it towards Ling Xiao. His idea was very simple. Since Ling Xiao wanted to devour the power of the heavenly fires, he would activate the 9 great heavenly fires and let Ling Xiao devour as much as he wanted. Even a divine realm expert who had mastered the law of fire would not dare to devour the 9 great heavenly fires so recklessly. Naturally, he did not think that Ling Xiao had the ability to do so. The heavenly fire universe disk had accumulated the power of the heavenly fires for countless years. It surged and enveloped Ling Xiao. As long as Ling Xiao was burned, the points in the Great Void token would naturally belong to LV Yen. Brother Yi, will Brother Long be fine? A trace of worry appeared on Feng Ye's face as she looked at the blazing sea of fire in front of her and asked. Don't worry. He, Big Brother is not simple. The 9 great heavenly fires can't do anything to him. Yi Liangqin's eyes revealed a trace of sharpness as he smiled slightly. He was not worried at all. On the other side, Qing Ting, Wang Lujun, and Yin Tian Song, who were trapped by LV Yen, successfully escaped after the 9 great heavenly fires suppressed Ling Xiao. When they saw the scene in front of them, their eyes revealed incomparable worry and anxiety. LV Yen, let Long Out Yen go. Qing Ting and Wang Lujun shouted softly at the same time and instantly rushed towards LV Yen. Fairies, your opponent is me. Frenzied blade Qin Kuan's eyes flashed and instantly soared into the sky. The pure gold battle saber emitted a blazing saber light and blocked in front of LV Yen. Get lost. Wang Liujuan's eyes were cold. The ancient sword in her hand was incomparably sharp as it pierced through the air towards Qin Kuan's glabella. Qing Ting also shot a cloud-piercing arrow, which turned into a silver stream of light and went straight for Lv Yan's heart. Chapter 1284. Boom! Qin Kuan's saber intent boiled all over his body. An ancient and vast aura burst out. The golden saber slashed down from the sky and collided with Wang Liujuan's sword aura in an instant. Dazzling lights burst out. Although Wang Liujuan's blue sea sword technique was an extremely powerful sword technique, her strength was similar to Qin Kuan's. There was no way she could break through Qin Kuan's defense. When the silver arrow shot by Qing Ting came into contact with the flames around Lv Yan, it instantly shattered. It's useless. Ling Bo Fairy, after I've dealt with Long Out Yan, I'll treat you well. Lu Yan's eyes flashed as he spoke indifferently. Boom! He activated all the power of the heavenly fire Qiankuan array disc. The 9 divine flame dragons were unparalleled and burst out with terrifying light. The blazing flames burned the void and completely drowned Ling Xiao. Lu Yan's eyes were filled with murderous intent. In the heavenly fire Qiankuan array disc, he was confident that even a divine realm deity would be burned to death. He did not believe that Ling Xiao alone could resist the power of the 9 heavenly fires. At this moment, in the endless sea of fire, Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in the void, surrounded by golden light. He activated the heaven-devouring secret skill and the heaven-devouring divine flame began to devour the power of the 9 heavenly fires around him. The 9 heavenly fires in the heavenly fire universe formation disk were the fire seeds that the Liu family had collected for countless years. They had been cultivated to the level of divine fire with great difficulty. However, at this moment, Ling Xiao had taken advantage of them. They were all devoured by Ling Xiao and turned into vast energy to nourish his body. At the same time, his cultivation began to break through to the true God realm. Ling Xiao's body was crystal clear and his hair was thick and lustrous. He sat cross-legged in the sea of fire like a flaming war god, swallowing and spitting out endless flames. His aura was extremely mysterious. If the 9 heavenly fires could be cultivated to the level of divine fire by the Liu family, Ling Xiao would have no other way. Even with the heaven-devouring secret skill, he would definitely die. However, the 9 divine fires were no threat to Ling Xiao at all. Instead, they became his nourishment. The divine power in Ling Xiao's body became more and more majestic. The originally vast divine power of the flames was refined by the heaven-devouring secret skill. It showed a chaotic color and directly integrated into the small world, pushing Ling Xiao's aura to become stronger. Crack! Within Ling Xiao's body, there seemed to be some kind of clear and melodious sound. Instantly, an incomparably powerful aura burst out. His cultivation had directly broken through from the great circle of the divine spirit realm to the true God realm. Boom! A golden vortex formed around Ling Xiao, enveloping the void in all directions. The aura of the 9 flame divine dragons instantly weakened. What? Lu Yan's entire body trembled as a look of disbelief appeared in his eyes. Only now did he discover that not only was Ling Xiao not burned to death by the 9 heavenly flames, he even broke through to the true God realm in one go. This made him simply unable to accept it. He was very decisive. He directly used the power of the heavenly fire universe disk array to forcibly cut off the aura between the 9 flame divine dragons and Ling Xiao. However, the aura of the 9 flame divine dragons had also weakened. The 9 heavenly flames had actually lost more than 10% of their power. Lv Yan's heart immediately ached. It should be known that 10% of the 9 heavenly fires' energy would take at least 100 years to recover. Fortunately, he made a prompt decision. Otherwise, these 9 heavenly flames would have been destroyed in his hands. What a pity! Ling Xiao felt that it was a pity. If he could continue devouring, he could directly push his cultivation to the great circle of the true God realm with just the power of the 9 heavenly flames. Unfortunately, Lv Yan would not give him this opportunity. Kill! Ling Xiao's eyes flashed and the light around his body blazed. His aura was extremely terrifying. He held the invincible fist print in his hand and instantly punched forward like a golden divine light. Right in front of him, frenzied blade Chen Kun happened to be forced to retreat by Wang Lujun. Chen Kun's face changed drastically as he felt the terrifying divine power coming from behind him. His body suddenly moved horizontally and then he slashed his blade towards Ling Xiao's chest. It was still a fight where both sides would suffer. Chen Kun was certain that Ling Xiao would not dare to take this blow head-on. Crack! Ling Xiao did not dodge and a sharp light flashed in his eyes. He reached out a hand to grab the crimson golden battle blade in Chen Kun's hand. At the same time, the fist print sped up. Clang! Sparks flew in all directions as Ling Xiao's palm collided with the crimson gold battle saber. The sound of metal clashing could be heard, and the light was extremely dazzling. At the same time, the fist also landed heavily on Chen Kun's chest. Puff! Chen Kun's face suddenly turned pale and he spat out a mouthful of blood. His chest caved in and his muscles and bones were broken. He was severely injured in an instant. Then, a golden light flashed under Ling Xiao's feet and he directly appeared in front of Chen Kun. Then, he grabbed Chen Kun's neck with one hand. Do you want to live or die? Ling Xiao said indifferently. However, when Chen Kun heard his voice, he could not help but tremble and his face turned extremely ugly. He could feel Ling Xiao's killing intent. If he dared to say no, Ling Xiao would probably really kill him. His life was completely in Ling Xiao's hands. Even if he crushed the Great Void token now, Ling Xiao would be able to completely kill him within 3 breaths of time. Of course I want to live. Long Outyen, I'm willing to give you all my points. I only beg you to spare my life. Chen Kun was very straightforward as he hurriedly said. Your points were originally mine. Are they not enough to buy your life? Ling Xiao said indifferently. Then what do you want? Chen Kun's face was extremely ugly. Ask your subordinates to hand over all their points and help me deal with Lu Yan. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Okay. Chen Kun gritted his teeth but still agreed. Lu Yan did not expect Ling Xiao's strength to be so terrifying after breaking through. He had completely captured Chen Kun in a few moves. He said coldly, Long Outyen, let go of Chen Kun. Otherwise, all of you will be buried under the Heavenly Fire Universe Disc Array. Do you think I'm afraid of you? It's just 9 heavenly fires. Do you believe that I won't devour all 9 heavenly fires? Then, I'll see how you operate the Heavenly Fire Universe Disc Array. Ling Xiao sneered coldly. Although the Heavenly Fire Universe Disc Array was a unique treasure, Ling Xiao had already seen that its source of power was the 9 heavenly fires. As long as the 9 heavenly fires were extinguished, the Heavenly Fire Universe Disc Array would naturally not be able to unleash any power. You can try. Lu Yan's eyes flashed with murderous intent as he glared at Ling Xiao. Chapter 1285. Buzz. At this moment, Chen Kun directly handed over the points in the Great Void token to Ling Xiao. Under his orders, his subordinates also handed over the points in the Great Void token. Ling Xiao's Great Void token shone brightly and instantly devoured everyone's points. Ling Xiao's identity information changed again. First place on the scoreboard, Long Outyen, 3.015 million points. At this moment, Ji Lingyang, who was second place on the scoreboard, had just reached 1.9 million points. Ling Xiao surpassed him by millions of points. It seems that you refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Leave the 9 heavenly fires to me. You guys stop Lu Yan. Don't let him escape. Ling Xiao sneered. In an instant, he rose into the sky and rushed toward the 9 heavenly fires. To others, the heavenly fires that were feared were now in Ling Xiao's hands. Ling Xiao coveted the 9 heavenly fires. If he could devour them completely, not only would his cultivation soar, but he would also be able to comprehend the power of the law of fire. The Heavenly Fire Qian Kun Disc Array was originally extremely powerful. However, it was a pity that it was severely damaged. Coupled with Lu Yan's cultivation, he could only activate a trace of the heavenly fire Qian Kun disc array's power. It was a great weapon to deal with ordinary true gods and even heavenly gods. However, he encountered Ling Xiao, who was not afraid of the heavenly fire. Kill! Cheng Ting and Wang Liujuan's eyes flashed sharply. Divine power erupted from their bodies and they rushed toward Lu Yan at the same time. Hee, big head Lu, aren't you powerful? Don't you like to chase me? I'm going to beat you into a real big head Lu. Sky drilling rat Yin Tiansong also sneered. He turned into a stream of light and rushed forward, punching Lu Yan's fist. He seemed to have a lot of resentment toward Lu Yan and wanted to hit him when he was down. Bastard, I'm going to kill you. Hearing the name Lu Datu, Lu Yan's expression turned ugly. He once had a strange disease and his head became very big, so his opponents called him Lu Datu. However, no one dared to call him Lu Datu ever since he became stronger. Now that he heard Yin Tiansong call out Lu Datu's name, he was immediately enraged and sent a palm strike towards Yin Tiansong. Rumble. His palm print contained a monstrous flame, as if it was going to burn the heavens and destroy the earth. It was incomparably terrifying. Yin Tiansong let out a strange cry. He was extremely slippery. He directly used the fire escape technique and narrowly avoided the attack. He directly appeared behind Lu Yan and kicked out. Lu Yan staggered from the kick and was furious. But before he could say anything, Wang Liujuan's sword slashed over. The sword light was blazing and almost fell on Lu Yan's neck. Although Lu Yan directly moved away, he still felt a chill all over his body, which made him even more furious. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. Cheng Ting stood at the side, holding the green cloud bow in her hand. Arrows pierced through the void, containing an incomparably mysterious power, and flew towards Lu Yan's vital points. Young master, should we deal with Lu Yan? Chen Kuen's subordinate carefully transmitted his voice. Don't worry about Lu Yan first. Take down all of Lu Yan's subordinates. We'll sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight. Chen Kuen's eyes flashed as he secretly transmitted his voice. He was extremely unwilling to let Ling Xiao take away all of his points. However, he knew how powerful the Heavenly Fire Universe Disc Array was. Ling Xiao might not be able to deal with Lu Yan, so he wanted to wait and see the outcome of this battle. After all, he had been severely injured by Ling Xiao. Moreover, he had followed Ling Xiao's instructions to deal with Lu Yan's subordinates. Even if Ling Xiao won in the end, he was not afraid. Rumble. Lu Yan was surrounded by a murderous aura. He formed a seal with both hands, and suddenly, the array formation's void trembled violently. Cheng Ting, Wang Lujun, and Yin Tiansong were enveloped by 3 dazzling rays of light. They were instantly imprisoned in a mysterious space. This was another great use of the Heavenly Fire Universe Disc Array. It could form a universe and imprison everything. Although Lu Yan had only grasped the surface of it, it was not something that Cheng Ting and the rest could contend with. Get lost. Lu Yan's eyes were filled with murderous intent. He naturally did not want Ling Xiao to come into contact with the 9 great heavenly fires. Similarly, a dazzling ray of light shrouded Ling Xiao, wanting to imprison Ling Xiao in a space. Break for me. A sharp light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. The sky-devouring sword appeared in his palm. The light was incomparably blazing, containing a wave of power that could destroy everything. It suddenly slashed forward. Rumble. The fluctuations of the array formation could not withstand Ling Xiao's sword at all and exploded with a loud bang. Ling Xiao soared into the sky and pierced the space between Lu Yan's eyebrows with his sword. This was the destruction sword principle, containing an incomparably terrifying power of destruction. In the process of fighting with the Heavenly Emperor's celestial body, Ling Xiao had gradually comprehended this sword to the level of perfection. Although he still could not display the power of the divine path, it contained an extremely terrifying power. What? Lu Yan's eyes widened in shock. He actually felt the threat of death from this sword. Rumble. He did not even think about it. The 9 heavenly fires instantly appeared in front of him, turning into 9 raging fire walls that rapidly spread in all directions. However, Ling Xiao's sword was incomparably sharp. Even the raging fire walls formed by the 9 heavenly fires were destroyed by Ling Xiao's sword. Lu Yan, die. Ling Xiao's vital energy and blood rose. Like a humanoid divine dragon, he passed through the layers of raging fire and punched towards Lu Yan. Bang! Lu Yan could no longer resist the power of this punch. The punch landed directly on his shoulder. Instantly, his entire arm exploded into a bloody mist, and he flew backward. Meanwhile, Ling Xiao continued to attack Lu Yan. Does he really want to kill me? Damn it! Lu Yan's body trembled, and his eyes revealed a trace of incomparable horror. He could feel the terror of Ling Xiao's power at this moment. Even the heaven and earth array disc could not do anything to him. If he continued to stay, he was afraid that he would soon die in Ling Xiao's hands. Long out Yan, I will remember you. I will definitely kill you, I promise. Lu Yan suddenly gritted his teeth, looked at Ling Xiao with resentment, and directly crushed the Great Void token. Whoosh! The formation space formed by the heaven and earth array disc instantly shattered like a mirror. The array disc spun and flashed, directly flying back into Lu Yan's hands. You are actually so decisive. It seems that you don't want to enter the 5 major academies. Ling Xiao asked in surprise. He did not expect Lu Yan to choose to crush the Great Void token directly. Just you wait. Lu Yan glared at Ling Xiao. In an instant, the light of the Great Void token enveloped him and he disappeared in front of Ling Xiao. Chapter 1286. Brother Long, Lu Yan's grandfather is the Deputy Hall Master of Aries College. Even if he is eliminated, he will still be able to enter Aries College. He will just lose the support of the Flipping Sky Seal. Chen Kuan's eyes lit up as he spoke slowly. Support of the Flipping Sky Seal. What do you mean? Ling Xiao's body trembled. The news that he heard from Chen Kuan made him a little excited. Brother Long, don't you know? The winner of this trial will not only receive 10 drops of sacred liquid, but also a chance to comprehend the Flipping Sky Seal and receive the support of the projection. Since the Battle Hall Master disappeared 1,000,000 years ago, no one has been able to recognize the Flipping Sky Seal as its owner. This is how the Flipping Sky Seal was passed down. Chen Kuan looked at Ling Xiao in surprise as he explained the situation of the Flipping Sky Seal. I see. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. At the same time, he was even more determined to obtain the position of the winner. Ling Xiao naturally knew about the Flipping Sky Seal. It was the treasure of the Battle Hall. Only by gaining the recognition of the Flipping Sky Seal could one become the Battle Hall Master. However, since the Scarlet Dragon War God descended 1,000,000 years ago, no one had been able to gain the recognition of the Flipping Sky Seal. The support of the projection of the Flipping Sky Seal was equivalent to a seed. Only by gaining the support of the projection would one be qualified to compete for the Flipping Sky Seal. Ling Xiao had been worrying about how to become the Battle Hall Master. However, the support of the projection of the Flipping Sky Seal had given him hope. Lu Yan chose to crush the Great Void token. His subordinates had seen Ling Xiao's powerful combat strength and naturally did not dare to go against him. They were forced to hand over their points. In the end, Ling Xiao's Great Void token absorbed the points of Lu Yan and his subordinates. The total points reached a terrifying 3,520,000. Alright, you can leave now. As Ling Xiao spoke, Chen Kuan and his subordinates felt as if they had been pardoned. They quickly turned around and left. Although they had lost their points, as long as they snatched a few more people with more points, they might still have a chance to pass the Great Void trial. Yin Tiansong rolled his eyes. He wanted to take advantage of the fact that Ling Xiao wasn't paying attention to him to slip away. Sky burrowing rat, where are you going? Suddenly, an arm patted him on the shoulder, giving him a fright. Yi Liangchen looked at him with a half-smile. Where am I going? I'm not going anywhere. Boss Long is a genius with unparalleled strength. What Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, and Jiao Xia are all trash. I've already decided to follow Boss Long from now on. Yin Tian-sung immediately said righteously. If you want to follow my big brother, no problem. However, you have to hand over all your points as proof of your allegiance. Do you dare? Yi Liangchen stared at Yin Tian-sung and smiled. At this moment, Ling Xiao, Qing Ting, and Wang Lujun also looked at him. Yin Tian-sung was cursing Yi Liangchen's ancestors in his heart. He was on the verge of tears. He had cheated and used all kinds of methods to accumulate so many points. If he gave them all away, he would be at the bottom of the list. However, given the current situation, he had no choice but to hand it over. You don't have to hand them all over. Just take out 1,000,000 points. The remaining 300,000 points are enough for you to occupy the top hundreds. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. This guy was indeed quite capable, but it would not be easy to subdue him. Ling Xiao had entered Aries College, and it just so happened that he needed some manpower. This Yin Tian-sung could be taught a good lesson. All right. Although Yin Tian-sung was unwilling, he still took out 1,000,000 points and handed it over to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's points had reached 4.52 million. With Ling Xiao's current points, it could be said that he would be able to secure the first place and become the champion. That's not enough. Since there is the temptation of the flip sky seal projection, I'm afraid Xiong Ba, Evil Sword, and Ji Lingyang will not give up easily. Since that's the case, don't blame me for being impolite. Ling Xiao thought to himself as a smirk appeared on his face. Big brother, what do you want to do? Do you want us to snatch Ji Lingyang, Evil Sword, and Xiong Ba's points too? That way, you will be the champion and no one will dare to compete with you. Yi Liangchen said excitedly. Yin Tian-sung, I'll give you a chance to enter the top 10. Do you want it? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he looked at Yin Tian-sung and smiled. Enter the top 10. Are you serious? Yin Tian-sung was initially unhappy about losing 1,000,000 points. However, when he heard Ling Xiao's words, his eyes lit up. That's right. Your 5 elements heaven teleportation technique has reached perfection. I'm afraid Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, and Evil Sword will not be able to detect your presence and catch you, right? Ling Xiao said with a smile. At the mention of the 5 elements heaven teleportation technique, Yin Tian-sung said proudly, of course. Although Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, and Evil Sword are strong, in terms of speed, they can't catch up to me. If I want to hide beside them, they won't be able to detect me. Very good. Then let's catch them all in one go. I'm guessing that Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, and Evil Sword will not be satisfied. In the following time, they will definitely think of ways to snatch the points and fight for the champion's position. Your next task is to find out the whereabouts of Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, and Evil Sword. When I snatch all their points, I guarantee that I will give you a portion of the points and let you enter the top 10. How about that? Ling Xiao looked at Yin Tian-sung and said. Yin Tian-sung thought for a moment, then nodded and agreed, okay, I agree. He had no choice but to agree. This time, he wanted to enter Aries College the most. However, with his current points, he didn't have the qualifications to choose at all. Moreover, he had also witnessed Ling Xiao's powerful combat strength. Lu Yan and Chen Kun were simply unable to withstand a single blow from him. He believed that Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, and Evil Sword were not Ling Xiao's opponents. Only by borrowing Ling Xiao's strength would he be able to gather enough points in a short 3 days. Smart. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. In the following time, Yin Tian-sung followed Ling Xiao's instructions and searched for the whereabouts of Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, and Evil Sword. As for Ling Xiao, Yap Liangchen, Feng Ye, Qing Ting, and Wang Lujun, the 5 of them didn't stay idle. They split into 3 groups. Ling Xiao went in one group, Yap Liangchen and Qing Ting went in one group, while Feng Ye and Wang Lujun went in one group to collect points. Ling Xiao had disguised himself as a divine spirit realm cultivator, so those trial takers naturally thought of him as a fat sheep and wanted to snatch his points. But in the end, they tragically discovered that Ling Xiao was just pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger, and all of their points were snatched away by Ling Xiao. In more than 2 days, Ling Xiao snatched a total of more than 400,000 points and finally gathered a total of 5 million points. When Ling Xiao checked the rankings, he also discovered that Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, and Evil Sword's points had also soared. Chapter 1287. Scoreboard. First place, Long Out Yen, 5 million points. Second place, Ji Lingyang, 4,925,600 points. Third place, Xiong Ba, 4,811,120 points. Fourth place, Jian Xia, 4,753,600 points. Fifth place, Qing Ting, 1,825,600 points. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, and Jian Xia had been collecting points crazily in the past 2 days. They had almost caught up to him. The 3 of them were the strongest, and they were all aiming for the first place. In these 2 days, Ling Xiao had also discovered that Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, and Jian Xia would automatically avoid him and not meet him face to face. Obviously, they knew that he was strong and wanted to secretly accumulate points. Yin Tiansong's news finally came. Boss Long, I've received a rare piece of good news. Ji Lingyang has set up a trap to kill Xiong Ba and Jian Xia in one fell swoop. Yin Tiansong said excitedly. Oh. Finally can't help but make a move. Very good. The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Let me be the oriole today. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he rushed in Yin Tiansong's direction. Broken Sword Mountain was the place Ji Lingyang had chosen for the ambush. Broken Sword Mountain was tens of thousands of feet tall. It was like a divine sword that had been cut in half. It pierced through the clouds and emitted a vast and powerful sword intent. Legend had it that there was once a powerful sword saint who had cut Broken Sword Mountain in half with a sword. Since then, Broken Sword Mountain had an incomparably powerful sword intent. Many people had even comprehended sword Dao martial arts in Broken Sword Mountain. Yin Tiansong was hiding in a towering ancient tree outside Broken Sword Mountain. Ling Xiao concealed his aura and quickly found him. Boss Long, look, Xiong Ba and Jian Xia have already entered Broken Sword Mountain. Ji Lingyang has set up a killing array in Broken Sword Mountain. Both sides have already engaged in an intense battle. When should we make a move? Yin Tiansong transmitted his voice to Ling Xiao, eager to give it a try. Rumble. In Broken Sword Mountain, sword will rose and divine light shone. A group of powerful figures had already collided with each other, and the battle between them was extremely intense. Xiong Ba, whose body was emitting a dark golden light, had short hair, and Jian Xia, whose body was surrounded by sword intent, were attacking Ji Lingyang together. However, the 2 of them seemed to have fallen into a disadvantageous position. Ji Lingyang's divine energy surged, and he was able to mobilize the power of the array to suppress Xiong Ba and Jian Xia. However, under Xiong Ba and Jian Xia's intense resistance, Ji Lingyang also suffered some injuries, and his aura became somewhat sluggish. Are both sides going to suffer? Very good. In that case, we can go and pick the peaches. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he spoke slowly. Rumble. In Broken Sword Mountain, Ji Lingyang was wearing a dragon robe. His aura was majestic as he used Shou Tian's Imperial Lightning technique. Purple lightning flashed around his body, containing a terrifying aura. He kept suppressing Xiong Ba and Jian Xia. In the end, Xiong Ba and Jian Xia went berserk. The 2 of them used their most terrifying attacks to collide with Ji Lingyang, but in the end, they were severely injured by Ji Lingyang, and even had to hand over the points in the Great Void token. Ji Lingyang's points instantly surpassed Ling Xiao's, and he became the first on the scoreboard, with more than 14 million points. Xiong Ba and Jian Xia were on the verge of death, and they were half kneeling on the ground, unable to stand up. Ji Lingyang, on the other hand, was severely injured, and his body was staggering. However, his face was filled with excitement and joy. Boss Long, now is the best time to strike. Defeat Ji Lingyang, and you will immediately become the champion. Seeing the scene before him, Yin Tiansong said excitedly. Something's not right. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he forcefully suppressed the thoughts in his heart and calmed himself down. He circulated the power of his heart realm. Although he had only comprehended the surface of the Great Void Heart Rune scripture and had not even successfully cultivated the first level, he could use the power of his heart realm to sense the situation in Broken Sword Mountain. Ling Xiao could sense that Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, and Jian Xia were full of vitality, and their mental strength was strong. There was no sign of serious injuries at all. Is this a trap? Could it be that they are targeting me? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat, and he looked at Yin Tiansong indifferently, causing Yin Tiansong to be confused. Ling Xiao's intuition told him that Yin Tiansong would not betray him. However, Ling Xiao did not expect that Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, and Jian Xia would join forces and set up a trap for him. However, with just the three of you in a formation, do you really think that you can defeat me? Ling Xiao sneered in his heart, and his eyes were filled with strong fighting spirit. Last time, Ji Lingyang managed to escape. This time, no matter what, Ji Lingyang must stay behind. Swoosh! However, just as Ling Xiao was about to make a move, a mysterious figure instantly flew towards Broken Sword Mountain. His speed was extremely fast, and he directly used a powerful sword qi to slash at Ji Lingyang. It was a woman in a white dress. She was tall and had jade-like skin. She had a cold and extraordinary temperament, and she looked like a goddess from the 9 heavens, awe-inspiring and inviolable. However, it was a pity that her appearance was very ordinary, and she did not stand out at all. The aura around her was incomparably strong, and it showed that she was at the complete true god realm. She slashed out a purple sword qi that contained vast lightning, and it was incomparably terrifying. It's really you. You're courting death. Killing intent flashed in Ji Lingyang's eyes, and his gaze became incomparably gloomy. He also threw a punch at the woman in white, and Zhou Tian's imperial lightning technique exploded, and purple lightning shot across the sky. Boss Long, this woman in white seems to have been going against Ji Lingyang for the past 2 days. She kept stealing his points and treasures, and she even injured many of his subordinates. Yin Tiansong actually knew this woman in white, and hurriedly explained to Ling Xiao. The woman in white who has been going against Ji Lingyang. Could it be that this trap was set up for her? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and he temporarily hid it. He could feel that the woman in white must have hidden her appearance and identity, and Ling Xiao was also somewhat curious about her identity. She actually dared to go against Ji Lingyang. This woman in white was indeed courageous. Boom! Dazzling divine light exploded, and the woman in white slashed the lightning that filled the sky, and then collided with Ji Lingyang's Zhou Tian's imperial lightning technique, and an incomparably blazing divine light storm instantly erupted. P.S. 4th update, everyone rest early. Chapter 1288. Boss Long, I suspect that the lady in white is the Xian Wang who recently rose to the 8th place. But I don't know why she seems to have a grudge against Ji Lingyang and has been snatching his points and treasures. Yin Tiansong explained to Ling Xiao. Xian Wang. A divine light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. Suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something and his heart skipped a beat. Boom! Heaven and earth trembled as purple lightning enveloped the void. The aura around the lady in white was ethereal and mysterious, but the sword in her hand could trigger the momentum of heaven and earth. Every time the sword fell, purple lightning would fall and collide with Ji Lingyang's sword. It's the sword force of greater mastery. It's really terrifying. Ling Xiao sighed as his eyes were filled with sharpness. Before the immortal state, the martial arts of the mortal state mainly focused on comprehending the true meaning of martial Tao, understanding the changes of heaven and earth, and controlling the power of heaven and earth. The immortal state involved the understanding of the laws, comprehending the force of martial Tao, using the momentum of heaven and earth to trigger the vast laws, and possessing unfathomable power. The legendary sage state even comprehended the field of martial Tao, dominating the divine path. Their words were the law of the world, suppressing the universe and invincible. The true meaning of martial Tao, force of martial Tao, and field of martial Tao corresponded to the step-by-step control of the power of heaven and earth. The force of martial Tao was divided into 5 levels: entry, small mastery, great mastery, perfection, and transformative state. This white-robed woman's true God realm cultivation base had already cultivated her sword force to the great accomplishment realm. She had even reached the peak of the great accomplishment realm. There was already a trace of great accomplishment realm fluctuation. Such talent made many geniuses feel inferior. Even Ling Zhao's fist force and sword force were only at the initial success stage before he reached the 3rd stage of the heart-tempering realm. He had only reached the realm of great success after fighting with the celestial emperor's Dharma form in the 3rd stage of the heart-tempering realm. Therefore, Ling Zhao could see that although Ji Lingyang possessed the sacred body of heavenly cycle and displayed powerful martial arts divine senses, he was still suppressed by the woman in white. At the end of the day, it was the person who was powerful, not the martial arts. Boom! Streaks of purple lightning, like purple stars, revolved around the heaven and earth, mysterious and unfathomable, falling towards Ji Lingyang one after another. Although Ji Lingyang had unleashed his Zhou Tian sacred body, his fists were unparalleled, and he was constantly blasting those purple stars apart. However, he seemed to be in a sorry state. Zhou Tian's 5 thunders formation, rise. Ji Lingyang's eyes blazed with killing intent as he roared. Suddenly, the sky and earth in the surrounding valleys shook, and the earth changed. Stars lit up in the 9 heavens, and mysterious qi interweaved, containing incomparably terrifying power. 5 mysterious lightning bolts of 5 different colors intertwined with each other and enveloped the white-clothed woman below. Ji Lingyang's killing intent towards this white-robed woman was incomparably intense. Her strength was too strong. Such an enemy must be thoroughly killed in order to be at ease. Sensing the aura of Zhou Tian's 5 thunders formation, the white-clothed woman's expression changed slightly. Her eyes revealed a trace of sharpness as she lunged forward and thrust her sword at Ji Lingyang. Boom! The sword radiance was blazing, and it actually split into streaks of lightning, converging into a purple lightning dragon that contained unparalleled divine power. The white-clothed woman obviously felt the power of Zhou Tian's 5 thunders formation, so she wanted to subdue Ji Lingyang first. However, at this moment, Xiong Ba and Jian Xia, who were already severely injured, exuded an extremely terrifying aura. In an instant, they soared into the sky and attacked the white-clothed woman from both sides. Xiong Ba's body flickered with dark golden light, and his qi and blood surged. He threw out a punch, and it was like a vajra destroying the world. The sword in Jian Xia's hand was extremely fast, and it was extremely strange. It seemed to be piercing from all directions, and no one could even feel the trace of the sword radiance. Ha ha ha! Mysterious king, since you're courting death, then don't blame me for being impolite. Although I didn't lure out Long Outyan today, it's still a great harvest to be able to capture you. Ji Lingyang laughed loudly, and the killing intent in his eyes blazed. In fact, he was incomparably depressed in his heart. He didn't know what kind of enmity this white-clothed woman had with him. She had gone against him time and time again, and this time, she had even barged into his trap. Boom! Ji Lingyang formed a seal with both hands, and instantly, the 5-colored lightning in the void transformed into 5 mysterious giant beasts, exuding an incomparably mysterious fluctuation, and suppressed mysterious king. Zhou Tian's 5 thunders formation was the power of Zhou Tian's 5 elements divine lightning, and they were perfect as one. Not only was its power unparalleled, but it could also seal the universe and draw a prison. The 5 lightning beasts instantly shattered the Xian King's sword, and then they transformed into 5 chains that coiled around her body. At this moment, Xiongba and Jian Xie had already arrived, and Mysterious King was about to fall into a situation of certain death. Just as Ling Xiao was about to make a move, Mysterious King moved. Boom! The white divine light around Mysterious King shot into the sky, and instantly became dazzling. She was like a round of resplendent divine light, and her entire body exuded an incomparably mysterious fluctuation. The 5 lightning chains that were shooting towards her actually shattered the moment they came into contact with the white light around her body. Mysterious King's glabella shone, and a sharp light shot out from her eyes. Her slender jade-like hand turned into a palm print, and instantly, the void shook. She and Xiongba clashed, and then Xiongba was sent flying. Clang! Then, she suddenly clasped her hands together, and directly clamped down on Jian Xie's sword, which was as fast as flowing light. An even more terrifying divine light shot out from her glabella, and instantly hit Jian Xie's chest. A resplendent light flashed on Jian Xie's body, and then it instantly shattered. Jian Xie also flew back as if he was struck by lightning. If he didn't have a protective treasure, he would have died under Mysterious King's attack. Xiongba and Jian Xie's expressions became incomparably ugly, and their eyes were filled with disbelief. At this moment, Mysterious King's aura had actually surpassed the true God realm, and reached the heavenly God realm. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed, and he could feel that there seemed to be some kind of terrifying aura awakening in Mysterious King's sea of consciousness between her eyebrows, and it contained an ancient and vast aura fluctuation. It was as if some kind of great existence was providing Mysterious King with unparalleled power. At this moment, Mysterious King's face became incomparably pale, and there was a trace of blood at the corner of her mouth. She couldn't help but groan. Ji Lingyang's eyes lit up, and he said coldly, "She used some kind of forbidden power, and she can't last for long. Kill her." Ji Lingyang immediately activated the power of Zhou Tian's 5 lightning array, and 5 colored lightning gathered in the void, and charged towards Mysterious King. Xiongba and Jian Xie also noticed the change in Mysterious King's body, and their eyes also lit up, and they charged towards Mysterious King. Chapter 1289. Boom! Xian Wang's gaze grew sharper and sharper. The ancient sword in her hand emitted a resplendent sword light. In an instant, the heavens and earth shook. Streaks of purple lightning surged up like mountains, transforming into a vast sea of lightning, suppressing Ji Lingyang, Xiongba and Jian Xie. In the endless sea of lightning, a purple sword radiance swept across the heaven and earth, containing a terrifying fluctuation that could destroy everything. It suddenly collided with the 5-colored lightning. Endless divine radiance burst out. Although Xian Wang's sword was strong, Zhou Tian's 5 thunder formation contained the divine might of heaven and earth. Under Ji Lingyang's control, it actually suppressed Xian Wang. Xiongba and Jian Xie took the opportunity to attack, causing Xian Wang's qi to become chaotic. Purple Heaven Godly Sword Technique. I didn't expect you to evolve it to such a level. Ling Xiao sighed softly, his eyes revealing a trace of surprise. He had already confirmed Xian Wang's identity. Swoosh! At this moment, Ling Xiao no longer concealed himself and turned into a dazzling golden light. Divine energy rose around his body as the 4 elephants' sky-striking style exploded. A chaotic fist print suppressed Ji Lingyang. Ling Xiao also saw the power of Zhou Tian's 5 thunder formation. The key was Ji Lingyang. As long as he suppressed Ji Lingyang, Zhou Tian's 5 thunder formation would collapse on its own. Who's there? Ji Lingyang's face changed as he threw out a punch without hesitation. However, when he saw the white-robed figure charging towards him amidst the golden clouds, he immediately recognized Ling Zhao's identity. His eyes instantly turned bloodshot. Long Out Yen, you really dare to come here to seek death? Ji Lingyang's voice was filled with monstrous killing intent. It's not me who's seeking death, it's you. I was still worried about how to catch all of you in one fell swoop. I didn't expect you to scheme against me. Since that's the case, all of you shall leave your lives behind. Ling Xiao sneered. The primal chaos fist imprint was incomparably terrifying. In an instant, it broke through the interweaving qi in the surroundings and sent Ji Lingyang flying with a punch. Long Outyan. Xiong Ba and Jian Xie could not help but exclaim as their gazes turned serious. Although they had set this trap for Long Outyan, they had not expected the Xian King to destroy it. Now that the Xian King and Long Outyan had joined forces, not only would they not be able to keep Long Outyan here, but they might even be suppressed here by Long Outyan. They were extremely wary of Long Outyan. Hence, they were a little hesitant to attack him. Xian Wang also saw Ling Xiao's figure, and his body shook involuntarily. His eyes were filled with incomparable joy. When she heard Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba and Jian Xie calling Ling Xiao Long Outyan, she immediately knew that Ling Xiao was hiding his identity. Therefore, she did not shout out and instead charged towards Xiong Ba and Jian Xie. Rumble. Ling Xiao's fist momentum was vast, and his combat strength was getting more and more terrifying. At this moment, he no longer held back and erupted with his full strength. This made Ji Lingyang secretly complain, and his complexion became more and more ugly. When Ling Xiao was in the great divine spirit realm, he was already able to defeat him. Now that Ling Xiao had reached the early true god realm, his combat strength was even more terrifying. Ji Lingyang actually started to fall into a disadvantageous position, as if he would be defeated by Ling Xiao at any time. 5 Lightning, gather, explode. Ji Lingyang could feel that Ling Xiao's battle prowess was getting stronger and stronger. He couldn't help but let out a roar. Suddenly, the surrounding void trembled. The 5 lightning bolts instantly converged from all directions, forming a 5-colored lightning ball in the center of Ji Lingyang's palm. The 5-colored lightning ball contained an incomparably terrifying destructive power, and under Ji Lingyang's control, it suddenly exploded towards Ling Xiao. Boom! A dazzling divine light rose into the void, and a terrifying destructive power swept in all directions, drowning the entire valley. On the other hand, Ling Xiao was even faster than the 5-colored ball of lightning. He was like a blurry shadow, teleporting tens of thousands of meters in an instant. He was also blown away by the ball of lightning. The power of the 5 elements divine lightning? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The power contained in the 5-colored lightning ball was extremely terrifying, and even a heavenly god expert would be severely injured if he was careless. Unfortunately, the 5-colored lightning ball was an inanimate object, and Ling Xiao's spiritual sense was incomparably sharp, so he did not suffer any damage. Kill! Ling Xiao's eyes were blazing with sharpness, and he sent a palm across the sky. The dazzling 5-colored divine light was like 5 heavenly pillars, suppressing Ji Lingyang. 5 elements sky ceiling style. Ling Xiao could see that Ji Lingyang's Zhou Tian 5 thunder formation was based on the innate 5 elements divine lightning. Ling Xiao's palm directly cut off the power of the 5 elements, as if stripping away Ji Lingyang's perception of the laws of heaven and earth. What? Ji Lingyang's expression changed as well, feeling the 5 elements law being stripped away. At the same time, Ling Xiao's palm was so powerful that it made his scalp tingle. Buzz! Light flashed in Ji Lingyang's palm, and a purple-gold divine sword instantly soared into the sky, slashing towards Ling Xiao. This was the divine firmament sword, the most powerful sage-to-be treasure in Ji Lingyang's possession. Sword chi rose, as if it was going to shatter the 5 elements boundary. But Ling Xiao's palm was incomparably mysterious. It was like a vast ocean, dense and endless. It suddenly slapped on the divine firmament sword at an incredible angle. Clang! Unparalleled divine power spread towards Ji Lingyang's body, containing an incomparably terrifying energy fluctuation. Ji Lingyang's expression changed, his arm went numb, and the divine firmament sword flew out of his hand. Bang! Ling Xiao was like a god of war from the 9th heaven. His aura was unparalleled, and golden light shrouded him. A huge footprint suddenly stomped on Ji Lingyang's chest. Suddenly, a crisp sound rang out. Although Ji Lingyang's chest was emitting an incomparably blazing saint light, it instantly caved in. He suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, and fell from the void. What? When Xiong Ba and Jian Xie saw Ji Lingyang's fate, their expressions couldn't help but change. They were somewhat frightened. Although they knew that Ling Xiao had defeated Ji Lingyang before, how could it be like this? It was like crushing dry weeds, and in the blink of an eye, Ji Lingyang was heavily injured. Taking advantage of the moment when they were distracted, King Xian's eyes flashed, and a resplendent sword ray swept across the sky, directly leaving a deep wound on Xiong Ba and Jian Xie's chest. Xiong Ba and Jian Xie were shocked. If it weren't for their quick reactions, they would have been directly disemboweled by King Xian. Both of them felt that something was wrong. If this continued, they were afraid that they would really be wiped out by Ling Xiao in one fell swoop. Brother Jian, let's retreat. We can't do this. If we continue to stay, I'm afraid both of us will fail miserably. Xiong Ba hurriedly transmitted his voice to Jian Xie. All right. Let's retreat. Let Ji Lingyang fend for himself. I've already decided. After we escape, I'll immediately give you all my points and help you ascend to the top. But don't forget what you've promised me. Jian Xie's eyes flashed as he transmitted his voice. Really? Ha ha ha. Brother Jian, don't worry. I'll definitely do what I promised you. Chapter 1290. Rumble. Xiong Ba and Jian Xie wanted to escape, but at that moment, they unleashed all of their divine power. A dark golden fist print and a bright sword radiance charged towards Xian Wang. Xiong Ba and Jian Xie joined forces and unleashed their ultimate fighting power. Even Xian Wang had to retreat temporarily. Swoosh! The two of them looked at each other and did not choose to continue attacking. Instead, they turned around and used their powerful martial arts to escape into the distance. Xian Wang was slightly stunned. He did not expect Xiong Ba and Jian Xie to choose to escape at this moment. Suddenly, two ear-piercing sounds could be heard. Those were two silver arrow radiances. They were extremely bright and contained a sharpness that could pierce through everything. Moreover, the angle of the arrows was extremely tricky as they shot towards Xiong Ba and Jian Xie. Lingbo Fairy, Qing Ting. Xiong Ba and Jian Xie's faces turned ugly as they shouted at the same time. Rumble. At the same time, another bright sword radiance swept across the sky. It was wrapped in a monstrous amount of divine power. It was like an endless sea that was surging and surging. Wang Liujuan's 100-layered waves had also arrived. Xiong Ba and Jian Xie could only stop and focus on blocking Qing Ting and Wang Liujuan's attacks. However, after this delay, Xian Wang had also charged over. Xiong Ba and Jian Xie were instantly besieged by the three experts. Ha ha ha. Who asked you to be so smug? How dare you go against my big brother? All of you have to die. Yap Liangchen and Feng Ye had also appeared. Looking at the scene before them, Yap Liangchen could not help but laugh out loud. Bastard! Xiong Ba and Jian Xie's eyes were extremely dark. Xian Wang was extremely strong and was enough to suppress the two of them. In addition to Qing Ting and Wang Lujun, the two of them were instantly in danger. Your Highness Xiong Ba and Jian Xie, as long as you obediently hand over your points, we will let you go. How about that? Don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Qing Ting said with a smile. Her eyes were filled with a charming smile. Don't even think about it. Xiong Ba gritted his teeth and said. Both he and Jian Xie felt extremely aggrieved. In the past year of the Great Void Trial, it could be said that they had the power to decide the life and death of others. However, they had suffered losses at the hands of Long Outyen, causing them to feel extremely aggrieved and dejected. Since you are not obedient, then we can only take it ourselves. Qing Ting shook her head as the clear cloud bow in her hand shone even brighter. Arrows after arrows pierced through the clouds were aimed at Sword Demon and Xiong Ba's vital points, causing their scalps to go numb. Cheng Ting's archery skills were extremely powerful. Normally, they would have to defend carefully. Now that they were surrounded by Wang Lujun and the Xian King, they were even more powerless. They could only struggle left and right. It was only a matter of time before they were defeated. Rumble. Ling Xiao punched out, his fist imprint blazing with an incomparably terrifying energy fluctuation, sending Ji Lingyang flying again. Long out Yen, you and I are irreconcilable. Ji Lingyang's eyes were gloomy and filled with cold killing intent as he glared at Ling Xiao. Irreconcilable with me? You don't have the qualifications. Hand over all your points and I can spare your life. Ling Xiao laughed coldly. Don't even think about it. Ji Lingyang gritted his teeth as the divine firmament sword returned to his hand. It emitted a powerful holy radiance that surrounded him. You refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Ling Xiao laughed coldly as he punched out again. The powerful fist broke through the holy radiance around Ji Lingyang and sent him flying. Ji Lingyang coughed out blood as he hated Ling Xiao to the extreme. He had never experienced such humiliation before, and he was about to go crazy. Long out Yen, just you wait. I won't let you off. Ji Lingyang looked at Ling Xiao with hatred. Suddenly, his body shone brightly as the divine firmament sword emitted streaks of purple lightning. He wanted to escape. You want to leave? It's better for you to stay. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Golden light flashed around him, and he actually appeared tens of thousands of meters away in an instant. As Ling Xiao comprehended the secret art of teleportation, it became more and more mysterious and powerful. Although he still couldn't reach the level of teleportation, it was enough to make Ling Xiao's speed invincible in the same realm. Boom! This time, Ling Xiao didn't want to let Ji Lingyang go no matter what. He punched across the sky and the fist print was like a golden mountain that pressed down on Ji Lingyang. Ji Lingyang's expression changed as he hurriedly raised the divine firmament sword to block. However, when the fist print hit the divine firmament sword, it instantly burst out with bright light. Ji Lingyang felt his blood churning as he was sent flying. In Ling Xiao's hands, Ji Lingyang had no chance of escaping. Rumble. The battle between the two became more and more intense. However, Ji Lingyang had already fallen into a disadvantage. Although he roared and used powerful martial arts, he was still suppressed by Ling Xiao. Just as Ling Xiao was about to kill Ji Lingyang and snatch the Great Void token from him, an ancient and vast voice resounded between heaven and earth. The Great Void trial has ended. All trial takers, return to the Great Void ancient city. That voice was incomparably old, but it contained a strange fluctuation. Boom! In an instant, everyone's Great Void medallion emitted a bright light and floated up. It was as bright as the stars, enveloping everyone. Whoosh! 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 In an instant, all the trial takers disappeared from the Great Void's secret realm and returned to the Great Void ancient city. Even Ling Xiao couldn't react in time. In the next moment, the light in front of him changed and he appeared in the Great Void ancient city. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. There should still be a few hours before the Great Void trial ended, but it ended so abruptly. Someone probably didn't want him to hurt Ji Lingyang. Above the void, Tong Yuan and the other deans stood in the air. Their auras were vast and terrifying, as if they could split open the sky. Ji Guyuan, the dean of the Great Zhou Academy, was looking at Ling Xiao coldly with a trace of killing intent. Jian Chen and Ba Wang also looked at Ling Xiao with unfriendly eyes. After all, Jian Xia and Xiong Ba were almost eliminated because of Ling Xiao. However, at this moment, they represented the 5 great academies. Although they were angry, they couldn't vent their anger in public. They could only warn him with their eyes. So they're abusing their power for personal gain? Ling Xiao sneered in his heart. Looking at their eyes, he immediately understood what was going on. However, so what if the Great Void trial ended early? He was still first in the rankings. With the support of the flipping sky seal, no one could take it away from him. Everyone, after a year of the Great Void Trial, it has ended. According to the points you've accumulated this year, the top 1,000 on the rankings can join the 5 great academies. Chapter 1291. Wang. In the sky above the ancient Great Void City, a huge list floated in front of everyone. Everyone's ranking and points could be seen at a glance. First place, Long Outyen. Second place, Ji Lingyang. Third place, Xiong Ba. Fourth place, Evil Sword. Fifth place, Qing Ting. Sixth place, Wang Lujun. Seventh place, Yi Yangchen. Eighth place, Xian Wang. Ninth place, Feng Ya. 10th place, Lu Zongzi. Many people already knew their points and rankings. Those who had entered the top 1,000 were naturally ecstatic, while those who had been eliminated looked like they had lost their lives. However, many people were more concerned about the top 10 geniuses. If there were no accidents, the top 10 geniuses had hopes of entering the 3 immortal sanctuaries through the 5 major colleges. The Aries College was backed by the Aries Temple, the Imperial College was backed by the Taishengdao Palace, and the other 3 colleges were backed by the 9 Imperial Obelisk. These 3 immortal sanctuaries were famous in the entire divine realm. Being able to enter the immortal sanctuaries meant that there was a high chance of becoming a sage in the future. Who is Long Outyen? What qualifications does he have to suppress Ji Lingyang, Evil Sword, and Overlord to become the champion of this realm? Everyone's eyes widened as they looked at the unfamiliar name at the top of the list. One had to know that when the Great Void Trial began, everyone thought that the champion would definitely be Ji Lingyang, Evil Sword, and Overlord. However, in the end, it was snatched away by someone called Long Outyen. Although there were 10 drops of holy liquid for the champion, it was nothing to the 3 princes. What they pursued was the title of the champion. The champion of the Great Void Trial, no matter which college they entered, would receive resources and strong nurturing. You guys don't know about this, right? I heard that Long Outyen's combat power is extremely strong. He defeated Ji Lingyang and swept through the crowd. No one can defeat him. Is he that strong? It is said that Ji Lingyang has the Zhou Tian holy physique and is extremely strong. Is he not a match for him? Long Outyen, this name sounds very domineering. I wonder what kind of style he has. Everyone was discussing animatedly. They were curious about the guy named Long Outyen. This time, the top 10 of the Great Void Trial will each receive a drop of holy liquid as a reward. The champion will receive 10 drops of holy liquid. Now, let's invite the top 10 geniuses to come up and receive their rewards. Tong Yuan smiled and waved his hand. Immediately, a dazzling, golden platform appeared in the air. Transparent stairs extended down from it, all the way to the ancient city. This was a kind of glory. Receiving the reward under the eyes of tens of thousands of people, he was destined to become a famous genius in the entire divine realm in the future. Immediately, many people revealed looks of envy in their eyes. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He took the lead and stepped onto the transparent stairs, walking towards the high platform. His clothes were whiter than snow, and his black hair fluttered in the wind. He looked heroic and extraordinary, and he had a natural and unrestrained bearing. His face was calm and indifferent, and he did not change his expression in the slightest because of the gazes of the surrounding people. Even Tong Yuan could not help but secretly nod his head at his composure. Being able to remain calm in the face of danger, his mental state was indeed extraordinary. Everyone's eyes widened as they watched Long Outyen, who had defeated Ji Lingyang, walk to the top step by step. He stepped onto the golden platform, and everyone's attention was on him. Immediately after, Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, Jian Xie, Qing Ting and the others stepped onto the high platform one after another. Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba and Jian Xie's faces were naturally ugly. They looked at Ling Xiao with a trace of hidden hatred in their eyes. Qing Ting, Wang Lujun, Feng Ya, and King Xian all had extremely calm expressions. Only Yi Yangchen seemed to be extremely smug. He looked left and right, then swaggered over with a complacent expression on his face. The last person was Lu Zongzi, who was ranked 10th. No one had seen him before. He was an ordinary black-clothed youth. His steps were very steady, and he walked up the high platform calmly. Tong Yuan and the other deans walked up the high platform and gave out their rewards. Ling Xiao received 10 drops of holy liquid, and they were sealed in a transparent jade bottle. They were like 10 dazzling suns, dazzling and eye-catching. 10 drops of holy liquid, I finally got it. Ling Xiao could not help but let out a sigh of relief. He was a little happy in his heart. 10 drops of holy liquid might be enough to raise one's cultivation by a whole realm, but to Ling Xiao, it was only enough to raise his cultivation by a small realm. After all, Ling Xiao's accumulation was too great. Just as Ling Xiao and the others were receiving the holy liquid, in the depths of the great void ancient city, where no one could see, Lei Qianjue, Jing Xian and King Tian-su, the 3 sage-to-be experts, were also paying attention to the many experts who were participating in the Great Void Trial. Junior sister Jing Xian, is there any genius disciple who caught your eye in the Great Void Trial this time? Lei Qianjue smiled faintly. Jing Xian's eyes were cold as she said faintly, although these people are talented, they do not meet the requirements of the Taishangdao Palace. They can enter the outer sect, but it is almost impossible for them to enter the inner sect, let alone become a true disciple. King Tian-su also smiled bitterly. Although the Taishangdao Palace was powerful, it was a pity that the requirements for its disciples were very strict. Therefore, it was the sect with the least number of disciples among the 12 endless sacred grounds. I think that kid called Long Outyen is not bad. His physical body is very strong, and his blood qi is majestic. He should have taken the path of becoming a god with his physical body. He is quite suitable for the combat god hall's cultivation technique. Lei Qianjue's eyes flashed as he looked at Ling Xiao. King Tian-su's eyes flashed with a hint of surprise. He smiled and said, Brother Lei, I also like Long Outyen. Why don't you give him to me? I am willing to exchange a flawless sacred treasure for him. A flawless sacred treasure? Hee, that's not enough. I think this kid is very suitable for the cultivation technique of the Thunder Hall. Ji Lingyang has the Zhou Tian sacred body, and Xiong Ba has the Sky Tyrant divine body. If you are willing to let these 2 kids join my sect, I can consider it. Lei Qianjue said faintly. Joining your sect is not a problem. As long as you let them learn the flipping sky seal, I will give them to you. King Tian-su said with a smile. Learn the flipping sky seal. Senior brother Tian-su, you are making things difficult for me. I don't have the right to do that. Lei Qianjue shook his head. Even the 9 temple masters of the combat god hall did not have the right to learn the flipping sky seal. Only the ancestral patriarch or the god of war agreed to it. The god of war was the leader of the combat god hall. His status was comparable to the sect masters of the other holy lands. Then I have no other choice. It's time for us to show ourselves. Otherwise, if that kid doesn't choose the Aries College, I will be embarrassed. Lei Qianjue said with a smile. On the golden platform. After Ling Xiao received the 10 drops of sacred liquid, he was about to wait for Tong Yuan to announce which college they were going to join. Suddenly, a ray of light flashed in the void, and an old man in black armor appeared in the void. He looked majestic and powerful. Beside him was a beautiful woman in a white robe and a young man in a green robe. Their auras were also unfathomable. They were Lei Qianjue, Jing Xian, and King Tian-su. Chapter 1292. Greetings to the 3 elders. Tong Yuan and the other deans of the 5 academies greeted Lei Qianjue, Jing Xian, and Tian-su King when they saw them. You're welcome. Lei Qianjue smiled faintly. Tong Yuan naturally knew the purpose of these 3 people's appearance. In his heart, he wondered who was so lucky to be able to catch the eye of these 3 elders. Tong Yuan looked at the crowd and said with a smile, Everyone, these 3 elders are the Thunder King of the War God Hall, Vice Hall Master Lei Qianjue, Elder Jing Xian of the Taishang Palace, and Tian-su King of the 9 Imperial Gates. The three elders are here in the Great Void Trial to select the most talented experts to enter the three immortal sacred grounds. If you're chosen by the three elders, it'll be a great opportunity for you. I hope you'll make good use of this opportunity. After hearing Tong Yuan's words, everyone's body trembled. Their breathing quickened, and their eyes were filled with excitement. The elders of the three immortal sacred grounds were lofty figures. They were even more powerful than the deans of the 5 academies. Most importantly, to be able to enter the three immortal sacred grounds, one had to be at least an inner disciple. This was an opportunity that everyone dreamed of. After all, even if one became a disciple of the 5 academies, not everyone would be able to enter the three immortal sacred grounds. They would have to go through intense competition to have a chance. Now that there was a chance for them to rise to the top, how could they not be excited? Even the eyes of those in the top 10 on the scoreboard lit up. To be able to enter the three immortal sacred grounds, one's starting point would be much higher than those in the 5 academies. Naturally, the resources and training they would receive would be different as well. However, it could be imagined that the three great elders had extremely strict standards. Most likely, the ones with the highest hopes were still the top 10. The Thunder King, Lei Qianjue. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he realized that the Thunder King, Lei Qianjue, was the expert from the War God Hall who had sent a projection to kill him in the realm of the gods. According to Ling Zhao's memory, the Thunder Hall was the most hostile to the War God Hall. If Ling Zhao wanted to become the master of the War God Hall, he would have to face the Thunder Hall sooner or later. Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, are you willing to become my disciples? The Tianzi monarch was the first to speak as he looked at Ji Lingyang and Xiong Ba with a smile. Ji Lingyang and Xiong Ba were slightly taken aback before they became overjoyed. As princes, they naturally knew of the heavenly strategy's king's strength. He was one of the few who had the highest chance of becoming a saint in the 9-layered imperial obelisk. Becoming his disciple was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for them. I'm willing. Disciple Ji Lingyang pays respect to Master. I'm willing as well. Disciple Xiong Ba greets Master. Ji Lingyang and Xiong Ba hurriedly knelt down and bowed deeply to the King of Heavenly Strategies. Their faces were filled with excitement. Very good. One of you has the Zhou Tian sacred body, and the other has the Sky Tyrant divine body. With such talents, as long as you cultivate diligently, you will have a bright future in the divine path. These two holy treasures are Master's greeting gift. You guys accept them. Tianzi King said with a smile, his face full of satisfaction. With a flash of light in his hand, a sword and a saber floated in front of Ji Lingyang and Xiong Ba, exuding a powerful holy light, looking extremely mysterious. Flawless holy treasures. Although they were only lower-grade holy treasures, they were still extremely precious. If placed in an ordinary sect, they would be considered the most precious treasures of the sect. Thank you, Master. Ji Lingyang and Xiong Ba were pleasantly surprised. Ji Lingyang received a holy sword, while Xiong Ba received a holy saber. Both of them stood up respectfully and stood behind the King of Heavenly Strategies. Especially Xiong Ba, who gave Ling Zhao a provocative look. Everyone looked at Ji Lingyang and Xiong Ba with envy. From today onwards, the two of them would be disciples of the 9 imperial gates, and inner disciples at that. The disciples of the 5 great academies were at most outer disciples of the 3 immortal sacred grounds. Only by passing a series of rigorous tests could they become true inner disciples. Brother Tianzi, I'm not going to snatch them from you. Is there a need for you to treasure them so much? Lei Qianjue smiled bitterly as he looked at the King of Heavenly Strategies. Brother Lei, these 2 brats have already become my disciples. Let's make it clear. I won't snatch them from you, and you won't snatch them from me either. The King of Heavenly Strategies said with a smile. Although he felt that Long Outyan's talent was not bad, Ji Lingyang and Zhou Tian's sacred body and Xiong Ba's Sky Tyrant divine body were all top body constitutions in the world. As long as they were fully developed, their future would be limitless. Naturally, he would not be willing to exchange them for Long Outyan. Of course. Lei Qianjue smiled faintly as he turned around and looked at Ling Xiao. You're Long Out Yen, right? Are you willing to become my disciple? Lei Qianjue's voice was old and majestic. There was a hint of satisfaction in his eyes. Ling Xiao was able to suppress Ji Lingyang on his own. In his opinion, Ling Xiao was extremely talented. Perhaps, he had some hidden bloodline. Moreover, this kind of expert was the most suitable to cultivate the martial arts of the war god shrine. Ling Xiao was taken aback. He did not expect Lei Qianjue to take a liking to him. He suddenly felt that something was wrong. Of course, he did not want to become Lei Qianjue's disciple. He had inherited the Scarlet Dragon Warlord's inheritance and was destined to be the master of the war god shrine. Moreover, he had too many secrets. If he became Lei Qianjue's disciple, it was inevitable that his identity would be exposed. Everyone looked at Ling Xiao with envy. Lei Qianjue was known as the Thunder King. He was proficient in the Thunder Dao and was the deputy lord of the Thunder Temple. He was destined to become a saint in the future. It was a great honor to be chosen by him. Just when everyone thought that Ling Xiao would kneel down in joy, Ling Xiao raised his head and said calmly, "Thank you for your kindness, Elder Lei. However, I still want to enter Aries College. I want to build a solid foundation and cultivate diligently. In the future, I want to enter the war god shrine with my own strength." Ling Xiao's words instantly stunned everyone. Everyone looked at Ling Xiao as if they were looking at an idiot. He had rejected Lei Qianjue. Even Jing Xian and the King of Heavenly Strategies were surprised. They did not expect Long Out Yen to be so bold. Cheng Ting, Wang Lujun, Yap Liangchen, and Feng Ye looked at Ling Xiao with admiration. They were impressed by his courage to make such a decision. However, there was also a look of pity in their eyes. After all, this kind of opportunity to reach the heavens in a single bound was not something that everyone had. Big Brother is indeed Big Brother. He actually rejected Lei Qianjue. But that's right. How can a half-saint accept you as his disciple? Hee hee. Yap Liangchen winked at Ling Xiao and secretly transmitted his voice to Ling Xiao. Lei Qianjue's eyes flashed. Although his expression did not change, the look in his eyes had turned cold. Chapter 1293. If that's the case, do as you wish. Lei Qianjue said indifferently and did not look at Ling Xiao again. Although he was furious and thought that Long Out Yen did not know what was good for him and dared to embarrass him, he could not lose his temper in front of everyone. He's asking for it. How dare he reject Vice Palace Master Lei? He's too arrogant. Looks like he's dead meat. That's right. I don't know if this kid is stupid or not. So what if he's the champion of the Great Void Trial? After offending Vice Palace Master Lei, he still wants to enter the Ares Temple in the future? He must be dreaming. The ignorant are truly fearless. Everyone was discussing among themselves, gloating over Ling Xiao's misfortune. Even Ji Lingyang, Xiong Ba, and Jian Xia looked at Ling Xiao as if they were looking at a dead man. Their eyes were filled with mockery and coldness. Although Jian Xia was disappointed that the King of Heaven Strategies did not accept him as a disciple, he did not show it. Moreover, he believed that with his strength, he would definitely be able to enter the 9 imperial gates in the future. Unknowingly, everyone began to distance themselves from Ling Xiao. They all thought that this kid was destined to have no future. To everyone's disappointment, other than the King of Heaven Strategies who accepted Ji Lingyang and Xiong Ba as his disciples, Lei Qianjue did not mention anything about accepting disciples after Ling Xiao rejected him. Jing Xian, on the other hand, did not take a liking to anyone. Next, the top 50 can come forward and choose the college that they want to join. Tong Yuan looked at Ling Xiao with surprise. He coughed lightly and began to distribute the disciples among the 5 colleges. Originally, the deans of the 5 colleges would definitely try their best to win over the champion. However, since the Taishang Palace wanted to recruit female disciples and the King of Heaven Strategies had promised Lei Qianjue that he would not accept Ling Xiao, the deans of the Sky Sword College, Overlord College, and De Zhou College naturally did not try to win over Ling Xiao. This year's champion, because he offended the Thunder King, Lei Qianjue, ended up in a very strange situation. However, Ling Xiao did not care about this. He chose to join the Aries College directly. After all, he was going for the Battle Temple. However, many people were gloating over Ling Xiao's misfortune. After joining the Aries College, Ling Xiao would suffer in the future. Other than Ling Xiao, of course, Feng Ye, Yi Liangchen, and Yin Tiansong also chose to join the Aries College. What surprised Ling Xiao was that Xian Wang had also chosen to enter Aries College and not the Great Zhou College that Ling Xiao had imagined. Wang Lujun and Cheng Ting joined the Taishang Dao Palace. The others followed their wishes and chose the sect they wished to join. In the end, each of the 5 academies recruited 200 disciples. Lei Qianjue, Jing Xian, and Tian Su quickly left the ancient void city. The 5 deans also bade farewell to each other and led their respective disciples to the teleportation portals, returning to the 5 great academies. Aries College was located in the Aries mountain range of the Taichung Heaven region. There were a total of 9 immemorial sacred mountains that were intertwined with each other. Divine light lingered around them, and auspicious vapors rose. Each palace was majestic and magnificent, and its foundation was extremely deep. When Tong Yuan brought the group back to Aries College, everyone looked at the majestic Aries College in front of them. Their eyes were filled with excitement and shock. With such a strong foundation, it was almost comparable to those legendary capitals of the God Kingdoms. Aries College was indeed worthy of its name. At this moment, Xian Wang calmly walked to Ling Xiao's side and said, "Ling Xiao, I didn't expect you to change your name to Long Outyan and enter Aries College. Why did you reject Lei Qianjue?" Ling Xiao looked at Xian Wang and smiled. "I don't understand either. You are the princess of the Great Zhou Divine Kingdom. Why did you choose to enter Aries College instead of the Great Zhou College?" The Xian Wang in front of him was Ji Feishuan. Ling Xiao's heart was filled with emotions. When he heard the 2 words Xian Wang, he had a guess in his heart. It was only when Xian Wang used the purple cloud godly sword art that Ling Xiao was completely certain. Ji Feishuan could be said to be the first person from Aries College that Ling Xiao had met after coming to the God realm. Naturally, he was incomparably close to her. However, Ji Feishuan was the princess of the Great Zhou Divine Kingdom. Ling Xiao originally thought that Ji Feishuan would join the Great Zhou College, but he did not expect her to come to Aries College. Although I'm the princess of the Great Zhou Divine Kingdom, that was a matter of 1,000,000 years ago. Everything can change with the passage of time. Many things have happened in the Great Zhou Divine Kingdom. If I return to the Great Zhou College, I'm afraid I'll be walking right into a trap. Ji Feishuan said with a bitter smile. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. It seemed like something had indeed happened in the Great Zhou Divine Kingdom. However, since Ji Feishuan did not want to talk about it, he did not probe further. Instead, he changed the topic. "How did you enter the Great Void's secret realm? Did you see anyone else? I once saw Lu Wenqing's portrait in dazzling Gold City. I should have been saved by that mysterious senior. However, I was the only one who came to the vicinity of dazzling Gold City." "Are you talking about the Peach Blossom Prince, Lu Wenqing? That scumbag cultivated an evil technique and tried to defile a few young girls. I taught him a lesson. After that, I changed my appearance and participated in the Great Void Trials." Ji Feishuan recounted everything that had happened after she came to the God realm. Ling Xiao nodded and was somewhat amazed. Ji Feishuan's concealment technique was so amazing that even Lei Qianjue and the other 2 sage-to-be experts could not detect it. Kacha! A bright light shone in front of everyone, and a huge screen slowly opened. It was mysterious and vast, revealing the full view of Aries College. Everyone appeared on a huge white jade square, surrounded by clouds and mist. It looked extremely mysterious. "Greetings, Principal." On the square, 2 white-haired old men bowed to Tong Yuan. They looked hale and hearty, and their auras were powerful. They were experts in the great circle of the heavenly God realm. "Rise." Elder Li, Elder Wang, these are the new disciples of this batch. Long Out Yen is the champion of this batch. You can handle the procedures for them to enter the college. Bring Long Out Yen to me in a month. Tong Yuan smiled at the two old men. Then, he glanced at Ling Xiao and disappeared into the void. After Tong Yuan left, Elder Li and Elder Wang's gazes landed on Ling Xiao. They were naturally happy that the champion of this batch could enter Aries College. However, they were curious when they saw that Ling Xiao was only in the early True God realm. After all, it was said that there were many experts in the great circle of the True God realm in this great void trials. Long Out Yen, who was only in the early True God realm, could become the champion. He must be extraordinary. Elder Li coughed lightly and took the lead to say, I am Li Qian, the managing elder of Aries College. This is Wang Gang, the managing elder. First of all, I would like to congratulate you on passing the assessment and becoming a disciple of Aries College. In Aries College, you will receive the best resources and the best training. As long as you are talented and powerful enough, you will be able to get everything you want here. Chapter 1294. Elder Li is right. In Aries College, there are God of War Pagoda, Deities Lake, and countless secret realms. Cultivating in them will allow you to cultivate faster than others. Aries College has a contribution point system. Every one of you who enters Aries College will be rewarded with 100 contribution points. With contribution points, you can exchange for anything you want, be it pills, divine weapons, talismans, or even holy treasures. As long as you have enough contribution points, you will be able to obtain them. And Aries College has the Hidden Dragon Leaderboard. The cultivation resources, status, and even importance that you can obtain are all linked to the Hidden Dragon Leaderboard. If you can become the top of the Hidden Dragon Leaderboard, all the resources in Aries College will be open to you. So, newcomers, work hard. Wang Gang also said. His words were extremely provocative, causing the blood of the newcomers to boil. They could not wait to kill their way into the Hidden Dragon Leaderboard. Whoosh! As Wang Gang pointed, everyone saw a huge ancient stone tablet in the middle of the square. It was thousands of feet tall and shone brilliantly. Bright names were engraved on it. Hidden Dragon Leaderboard. First place, Tian Gang, Great Circle Heavenly God. Second place, Luo Iren, Great Circle Heavenly God. Everyone could see that there were a total of 8,600 names on the Hidden Dragon Leaderboard. They represented the 8,600 disciples of Aries College. However, Ling Xiao and the rest's Great Void token instantly turned into rays of light and shot directly into the Hidden Dragon Leaderboard. 8,600 first place, Long Out Yen, Great Circle Heavenly God. 8,600 second place, Yi Liangchen, Great Circle Heavenly God. 8,600 third place, Xian Wang, Great Circle Heavenly God. 8,600 fourth place, Fengya, Great Circle Heavenly God. 800 th place, Duan Kuei, Great Circle Heavenly God. Ling Xiao and the other 200 newcomers' names were also engraved on the Hidden Dragon Leaderboard. However, they were ranked at the bottom 200. And Ling Xiao could see that the 8,600 names above him were actually all at the Great Circle of the True God realm. Thinking about it, it was understandable. The Great Void Trial opened once every 100 years. The expert above him was also a disciple from 100 years ago. He had only cultivated to the complete True God stage. It was indeed not fast. In fact, it could even be considered slow. At this moment, the Great Void token had also turned into a Battle God token. It flew out of the Hidden Dragon ranking and returned to their hands. However, the points in the Battle God token had turned into contribution points. Everyone had 100 contribution points. And because Ling Xiao was the champion of the Great Void Trial, he actually had a total of 1,000 contribution points. Furthermore, the Aries token looked extremely sturdy and was connected to everyone's primordial spirit. Normal divine weapons would not be able to damage it. Besides recording everyone's identity and contribution points, there were also introductions to various places in Aries College and the Aries Techniques training method. The Aries art was the foundation of the Aries College. However, it was also a martial art of the Divine King realm. It was enough for everyone to cultivate to the Divine King realm. In the outside world, it was impossible for ordinary people to obtain martial arts of the Divine King realm. However, in Aries College, it was an entry-level martial art. This made many people gasp in surprise. This hidden dragon list should be a holy treasure. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he looked at the hidden dragon list that was thousands of feet tall. He thought to himself. He could feel that the hidden dragon list contained an unparalleled power. There was a mysterious holy light flowing within. It was no wonder that it could record so much information and even control the entire Aries College. All sorts of introductions about Aries College are recorded in the Aries badge. The Aries arts are also the foundational martial arts of Aries College. It can be used to condense the power of the Aries god. This is the foundation of all the martial arts of Aries College. If you want to obtain better martial arts, you will need to use your contribution points to exchange for them. In Aries College's Tower of Martial Arts, there are all kinds of martial arts. Wang Gang said with a grin. Aries College has a total of 4 levels of residences: palace, loft, courtyard, and abode. Other than Long Outyen, who is the champion, who can stay in the loft, all of you will have to stay in the abode. The 4 levels of residences all have different spirit gathering formations. If you want better residences, then work hard to cultivate. Everything will be based on the hidden dragon list. The higher your ranking, the better your residences will be. In the coming days, I hope that you will cultivate well. In 3 years, it will be the Aries College's generational competition. I hope that you can achieve good results in the competition. When the time comes, there will be all kinds of generous rewards waiting for you. Li Qian smiled at the crowd. Then, he turned to a youth in white beside him and said, "Fang Sheng, I remember that the Spirit King Pavilion is still vacant. Bring Long Outyen to the Spirit King Pavilion." "Yes, Elder." The youth in white looked as gentle as jade. Although he was only at the Great True God realm, he had a different kind of temperament. After reading the introductions in the Battle God token, many of the newcomers looked at Ling Xiao with envy. The most ordinary abode did not even have a spirit gathering formation. In the courtyard, there were 3 times the number of spirit gathering formations. In the loft, there were 5 times the number of spirit gathering formations. In the palace, there were 10 times the number of spirit gathering formations. As the champion, Ling Xiao was able to choose a loft as his residence. This meant that he would have 5 times the number of divine spiritual energy. How could they not be envious? "Big brother, let's go to our residences and settle down first. After that, we will go to your loft to take a look." Yap Liangchen smiled at Ling Xiao. Then, he left with Fengya, Yin Tiansong, and Xian Wang. They followed the group and headed towards the abodes. "Junior brother Long, let's go." Fang Xing smiled at Ling Xiao. "Thank you, senior brother." Ling Xiao nodded and followed Fang Xing to the top of a sacred mountain. The abodes were located at the foot of the mountain. The courtyard was located halfway up the mountain. The loft was close to the top of the mountain. The palace was located at the top of the mountain. "Junior brother Long, our Aries College has a total of 9 palaces. These are the residences of the 9 seniors on the Hidden Dragon list. There are a total of 100 lofts." Coincidentally, a senior brother from the Spirit King Pavilion went to take up a position in one of the Aries College's businesses. Hence, the Spirit King Pavilion is empty. You can use it as your residence. As for the courtyard, there are 1,000 of them. As for the abodes, there are too many of them. As Fang Xing led Ling Xiao to the Spirit King Pavilion, he introduced it to Ling Xiao. Fang Xing was envious. As a disciple from the previous batch, Fang Xing was still living in the abode. However, Ling Xiao was living in the Spirit King Pavilion the moment he entered. Indeed, comparisons were odious. However, when Fang Xing thought about how his martial art was about to be completed, even if he could not get a loft, he would at least be able to get a courtyard. Hence, his heart was filled with anticipation. They followed the winding mountain path and walked to the top of the mountain. The surroundings were misty and looked very peaceful. Finally, they came to a loft built under a waterfall. Spirit King Pavilion, they had arrived. Chapter 1295. The Spirit King Pavilion was a 3-story building. It looked very elegant and exquisite, but it occupied a wide area. The Spirit King Pavilion covered an area of several thousand acres and there were dozens of rooms in total. The Spirit King Pavilion was shrouded in a faint spiritual mist. That was the power of the Spirit Gathering Array. There were cultivation rooms, alchemy rooms, quiet rooms, secret rooms, etc. It was very complete. Moreover, the Spirit King Pavilion was backed by a bamboo forest and faced a waterfall. The environment was very quiet and Ling Xiao liked it at first sight. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He felt that there was someone in the Spirit King Pavilion. Fang Xing's face also changed slightly. He shouted into the Spirit King Pavilion, "Who is in the Spirit King Pavilion? Please come out and meet me." Logically speaking, the Spirit King Pavilion should be empty. Fang Xing did not expect that someone would be so bold as to occupy the Spirit King Pavilion. Wang. Not long after, the Spirit King Pavilion was filled with water ripples, and the array was activated. A woman in a green dress walked out from it. She had a voluptuous figure, jade-like skin, and a delicate face. Her red phoenix eyes were flowing with endless charm. "Who are you? How dare you barge into my Spirit King Pavilion?" The woman in the green dress looked at Ling Xiao and Fang Xing indifferently and asked in a condescending manner. Especially when she saw that Ling Xiao was only at the early True God realm and Fang Xing was only at the complete True God realm, there was a trace of disdain in her eyes. "You are Su Feifei." Fang Xing cried out in surprise, his face turning slightly ugly. "You have some eyesight. This is not a place where trash like you can barge in. Quickly scram." Su Feifei said with some arrogance. "Senior Fang, who is this Su Feifei? Why is she in the Spirit King Pavilion?" Ling Xiao's eyes flashed and he asked indifferently. "Junior Long, you don't know. This Su Feifei's cultivation partner is called Chu Yunfei. He is at the early Heavenly God realm and is ranked 982 on the Hidden Dragon ranking. Chu Yunfei is naturally nothing, but this Chu Yunfei's brother has a very big background. He is ranked 10th on the Hidden Dragon ranking, the peerless genius Chu Yunfan. He is already at the complete Heavenly God realm." Fang Xing quickly sent a voice transmission to Ling Xiao. "Even if he has a big background? He is only ranked over 900 and his residence should be just a courtyard, right? Why are you in the Spirit King Hall?" Ling Xiao asked indifferently. "Don't worry, Junior Brother Long. I'll explain the situation to them." Fang Xing smiled bitterly and said. He had calculated everything, but he never would have thought that the Spirit King Pavilion would be taken by Su Feifei. He had heard that Chu Yunfan was very protective of his people, so he already had the strength to compete for the position of the 9 great palaces. He never would have thought that he would meet them here. Fang Xing gave a faint smile to Su Feifei and said, "Junior Sister Su, I am Fang Xing. I am here on the orders of Deacon Elderly Gang to bring Junior Brother Long Ao Tian to the Spirit King Pavilion. This Spirit King Pavilion has already been assigned to Junior Brother Long." The Spirit King Pavilion was assigned to him. "Fang Xing, are you trying to trick me?" A mere early True God realm cultivation base was simply trash. It was already good enough that he had a place to stay, but he still wanted the Spirit King Pavilion? What a fool's dream. If Li Qian dares to bend the law for personal gain, then don't blame us for being impolite. Su Feifei gave a cold laugh. She looked at Ling Xiao in disdain as she spoke, her eyes filled with disdain. "Junior Sister Su. This Junior Brother Long is the champion of the Great Void Trial this time. According to the rules of my Aries College, naturally he should be given a loft. The Spirit King Pavilion now belongs to junior brother Long junior sister Su. Please move out and don't make things difficult for me. Although Fang Xing's expression was ugly, he still tried his best to speak calmly. Champion of the Great Void Trial? Ha ha ha. A mere early true god realm, you dare to say that he is the champion? I don't believe it. You want the Spirit King Pavilion? He doesn't have the qualifications. Unless you let the dean come and talk to me personally, there's no need to talk about it. You'd better scram. Su Feifei said with a cold laugh. Ling Zhao's brows also furrowed. He did not expect this Su Feifei to be so arrogant. Not to mention occupying the Spirit King Pavilion, she did not even put the elders in her eyes. However, if the backing behind him was Chu Yunfan, who was also at the great circle of the heavenly god realm, Chu Yunfan naturally would not be afraid of Li Qian. However, this had created a problem for Ling Xiao. Fang Xing's face was filled with anger. Just as he was about to say something, Ling Xiao suddenly stopped him and asked calmly, Senior brother Fang, this Spirit King Pavilion should already be my residence, right? Although Fang Xing was puzzled, he still nodded and said, that's right. The elders have indeed assigned the Spirit King Pavilion to you, but... Ling Xiao interrupted him and said, since it's already my residence, then without my permission, anyone who dares to enter my residence is my enemy. Su Feifei, I'll give you one last chance. Leave on your own. Ling Zhao's voice was very calm as he quietly looked at Su Feifei. Your residence? This junior brother Long, you've just entered the college and you're already so disrespectful to your senior sister. It seems that if I don't teach you a lesson, you really think that this is a place where you can behave atrociously? A cold light flashed in Su Feifei's eyes as she looked at Ling Xiao unkindly. A powerful aura spread out from her body, locking Ling Xiao in place. It seems that you're not willing to leave on your own. Ling Xiao said calmly. Since it's like this, then I'll send you on your way. Ling Xiao's voice was like a sudden clap of thunder. In an instant, his body was covered in a golden glow as he directly threw a punch at Su Feifei. Hung Long. This punch was like the earth shattering, containing an invincible fist power. Rays of golden divine light rose like lightning, instantly causing Su Feifei's face to change. You dare. She never thought that Ling Xiao would actually dare to make a move against her. She angrily shouted as she jumped up, sending a white palm at Ling Xiao. Junior brother Long, don't be reckless. Fang Xing saw that Ling Xiao was about to make a move, so he quickly stopped him. However, it was already too late. Su Feifei's palms crisscrossed in the void, forming countless white palm prints in an instant. They were illusory and real, but each palm contained a powerful energy fluctuation. 1,000 illusory palms. Su Feifei cultivated a kind of divine king martial art. When cultivated to the peak, one palm could transform into thousands of palms. It was impossible to guard against and could kill people without them noticing. She never thought that a mere early-stage true God realm disciple would dare to make a move against her. She immediately retaliated without any courtesy. Streaks of illusory palm prints seemed to envelop Ling Xiao. They contained incomparably sharp fluctuations and concealed murderous intent. However, Ling Xiao's eyes were calm and there was a sharp light flashing in his eyes. His fist was pure physical strength, breaking through illusions and seeing the truth. No matter how many divine abilities you have, I'll break them with a single fist. Hung Long.